Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, let me tell you, we got a special guest. Mr. Gershon Mosley is joining us here. How are you?
I'm good.
Don't worry, that's my intro for every show. It either annoys people or people love it, or babies cry. Either.
Oh yeah, true.
But dude, thank you so much for stopping by, dude.
It's my pleasure.
This is an honor, dude.
My pleasure.
Yes. Yes. What have you been up to? Where are you living right now?
I'm living in Compton with my mother.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
The house I grew up in.
So how long have they had that house?
I'm going to say since probably the 40s.
Wow.
It was my great-grandmother's house.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Were you living somewhere else before? Were you in
I was in Kansas City.
Kansas City?
Yeah, up until probably about a year ago.
What were you doing out in Kansas City?
I get away. I don't know. I lived in Idaho back in the days too.
That's right.
California. I grew up here, so you got to escape every now and then. Everybody comes here.
That's true. That's true. Would you call L.A. like a love-hate relationship? Do you?
Yeah,
I kind of had that.
Well, see, I think it was a misunderstanding on my part because I really didn't expand. I haven't explored that much.
Okay.
So since I've been back this last month, probably I've been going around and checking out parks and just
there's a lot of them.
Just going to getting out, like driving around because
sure.
I was all paranoid about driving because just the memories of the past. But
what are the memories like traffic and like okay
yeah. Just sitting in traffic all the time. So it just. But it's not as bad because I guess most of it is that I choose a destination. So if
sure.
I go the opposite way that the traffic is going.
There you go. Right. And then Kansas City, were you skating much out there? Malto has his park out there. Would you ever go?
I would go to the park every now and then. And it was. I got to do a park ranger with Malto, actually.
Oh, did you?
It was really good.
Oh, okay. Sick.
Cool. Wow, that must be fun.
Yeah, Malto's great.
Yeah, he's super cool.
Great dude.
And then, and all the guys out there in Kansas City.
Escapees guys.
Escapees
guys.
And
great people. Yeah.
Well, and some of the people that I met in Joplin, Zach Elder and Jason Bontrager and
okay.
Some Tanner Green.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But, yeah, Kansas City was really. I think after I kind of got away from the whole being in the spotlight,
sure,
because I still put my name on boards,
okay,
put my name on product, or whatever,
right?
So I'm pro still,
okay. And that's with your own brand, right? Obtuse,
the oBtuseconcept.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, I wanted to see the world in a different way.
Okay.
So, going and staying in the city instead of visiting on a trip, because I went to Kansas City long ago, and even deeper than that, my stepfather is from there.
Oh.
So yeah, and so I guess going back there was interesting because part of it happened by chance. This just I met somebody and just things kind of worked out, and when it's like the idea of a path. When you see you start to go towards something, and then everything seems to work out.
Okay,
everything
right.
falls in place.
I met somebody, and then I found out that I ended up talking to Ryan Johnson. And
okay.
He was working on skate parks. And
Ryan Johnson that wrote for New Deal?
Yes.
No way.
Yes. So I talked to him, and it was just randomly, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I just came back from Joplin," and so there was this skate park building company. I won't mention the name because.
Okay.
It was, it turned out to where bad business.
Okay. Yeah.
People not being honorable, but
sure.
But anyways,
it happens.
But anyway, during the beginning, everything was perfect. It was great. So I go out there, I have this job, and everything. It's still dealing with skateboarding.
Yeah.
But I'm in a small town.
Right.
So
you're building skate parks.
I wasn't personally building. I help with the database, critiquing certain ones, like, giving them the
design and everything else.
I did work a little bit on the designs, but I never got into the computer work, so I didn't fully design. I was just more or less. They had a bunch of different layouts that they had, and they're like, give a 1 to 4, a critique.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? And so I'm looking at all these different ones, just like ledges in front of like transitions.
You're just like 1,
0. Like,
Bad idea.
and you're just looking at blueprints. You're not looking at actual. You had never been to the parks.
They had it. They had it on the computer. They had the
like a CAD drawing, or
like 3D.
the 3D
Got
drawings.
you.
So it wasn't like perfect. Some of them were actually looked like the real, and some of them were the actual parks that were built.
Okay.
At points. And then I would go out and do demos, park openings and stuff like that.
Sure.
Which, those are great. Like dealing with the, being around the people, and especially when they got something and they're stoked on it.
Right.
And, you go out there and skate with them. Then, I went out to DC and there's a park out there. I met a couple people out there. It was really cool. And so, Missouri, a couple of parks in Missouri. That was great. It was a different aspect of skateboarding that I wasn't accustomed to.
Sure.
I didn't have to. I don't worry about the skateboarding, but it's just the whole like pro
industry
it's like
stuff,
when people it's you, it's like I've been me as long as I can remember, so it's like is it a surprise maybe to you?
Yeah. Well, surprise to the person in Missouri who's never
nobody, anybody in general, I guess.
Well, that was me when I walked in the door. I was like, it's you.
For real, dude.
It's Gershon Mosley.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny, I get it. I grew up different. Like my mentality about things has always been different. I've never really been a fanatic.
Okay.
I've been inspired by people.
Sure.
And things, lots of, like
Kelly's a fanatic.
I'm a big fan of yours.
Now does that weird you out when people say that, or do you just kind of take it as like?
Well, there's different levels of it. It's
sure.
Like, the word, if you really go into the word, fanatic usually means crazy, but like most people.
Well, that's a perfect description for Kelly.
Well, but he didn't, like people freak out. There's been people that would freak out.
Yeah.
Or wouldn't be able to speak, but wouldn't let you leave either.
True.
True. So that's really uncomfortable. But, he didn't give me any trouble.
Right. You're still here.
You're still here. Yeah, it's all good.
So but the way that the way I've thought about things is with skateboarding. I had a friend, Blong Vang, when I was in it was junior high, and he wasn't the first person I saw skateboard, but he was like a good friend of mine, and it's like just watching him skate and doing what he did and skating with him and some of his friends. It got me further along.
Okay.
I've had interviews where I mentioned him and he was pretty hyped on it.
Nice.
Is this in California?
It's in San Jose.
Oh, San Jose.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where you started skating, San Jose. Okay.
Yeah. I moved there probably when I was 6, and then I was back and forth. But then I didn't start skating until around 13, 14.
Late bloomer.
I guess. Yeah. Well, I didn't have anybody put me on a skateboard. So,
okay. Right.
I mean, when I was probably 5, we had the banana board.
Sure. Yeah.
But we didn't. We weren't standing up, pushing around on it. We were getting on our butts.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, there was that. And the first board that I got that was actually closer to it looked like this table here.
Oh, this big. Yeah.
It was literally like it was laminated
mahogany.
Okay. Yeah.
It was like that thick.
Jeez.
And I had it for 2 days.
2 days.
So I'm in San Jose, and we live in this condominium duplex, or it's just. Yeah, it's one of those areas that are multiple apartments, and it's just like a whole mile of them, basically.
Oh, okay.
So there's a guy that lives like pretty much right the building right next to us, and we've knew him for a long time and whatever. He's like, hey, let me try that.
Okay.
You know, it's the typical story. Let me try that. You never see it again.
Never saw it.
Never saw it again.
Your big he took your big plank.
Yeah, no, he took my plank.
Your mahogany board.
Yeah.
And you knew where he lived.
Well, yeah. I mean, but see, he went away and he came back and it wasn't there anymore. So then after that, it was just war. Like I wanted to, get him.
Sure.
But I didn't see him too much after that.
Okay.
That guy sucks, dude.
I'm sure he probably didn't have a great life after that.
A life of crime.
Stealing from your buddies, hey.
Yeah. I mean, it was a big mahogany plank. Maybe it was a blessing that he took that thing away.
Well, I probably would have just dreaded skateboarding. I'd probably been like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really do nothing with this thing.
Right.
So it was flat, didn't even have the kick up or anything.
Oh my God.
But my grandmother did. My great grandmother gave it to me, so it was kind of
Special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what was your first board that you actually?
A Nash dog cheese. It was flea market special.
Oh.
But Nash was actually, I guess, before I came along, it was actually like a legitimate company.
It was
Sure.
But then they had the flea market versions of it, I think.
Oh, okay.
It was like
Was it around the same time
what
as
World
Executioner?
Industries did, like when they did merge and then they started like trying
License
to
it
sell
out?
to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you see the stuff in Walmart.
Yeah. Right.
Shitty
You're like, wait a
wheels.
second, those aren't real skateboards.
Yeah.
So
Did you start learning kick flips and different things on that board, or did you have to get a more advanced board?
yeah,
after?
no, I don't even recall when I learned kickflip. No, but I was ollieing, doing ollies and basic stuff like that, and but it had a crazy tail, super kick, and it was just like
Totally
a
fish tail?
super fishtail. Yeah. So I wasn't getting too crazy on it.
No.
But then again, I had just the reason why I got into skateboarding even was because me and my brother got into it over bikes, BMX, because we'd put them together, piece them together, and I started getting decent, riding bikes and hitting jumps and stuff like that.
Okay, tail whips.
Tail whips going off.
It's
it's pretty good. Curb cuts, like San Jose has some of the best curb cuts, and I was doing 360s off of the curb cuts with the bike.
Seriously?
Wow.
But so me and my brother get into this issue, argument or not. Because he had a longer reach, so if we got in a fight, he would have won.
Okay.
So we were arguing, and then my mother comes home, and then she's like, "Okay, that's it. No more bikes for any of you," because we were getting all these parts, and it was just turning into a junkyard. Anyways.
Okay.
So bikes had to go.
Bikes are gone.
So I had to fill that void.
Sure.
And my friend Blong, he skateboarding, and then here I go.
Here you go. Yeah.
So, but what I was saying is my, as far as the way I see skateboarding,
Sure.
it was, being inspired. I'd see Frankie Hill, Frankie Hill, Pat Duffy, those dudes. I didn't really go big back, and I went bigger at a point, but then I didn't get rowdy like they did.
Right.
but yeah, seeing them, but the people that were close, there was these two brothers. After I moved away from Blong, had got in the gangs, and then he stopped skating, and then I was going to Silver Creek, so I was on the east side, San Jose.
Okay.
And there was these brothers, I can't remember their names, and I think one of them hit me up on YouTube because he told the stories, because my YouTube channel doesn't say Gershon on it, it says Sharon.
Okay.
So he told the story about them teaching me to skate. I don't recall them teaching me to skate. I recall them having public domain and not letting us watch the video.
Oh,
but they were both of them. They got the video, and then they would come out and just floss the tricks on us.
Oh.
And they were so much better and then it took maybe I don't know. It seemed like forever. Maybe a year after they had it, they let us and some other people come and watch it.
They wanted to be ahead of the game.
Oh, they were way ahead.
Meanwhile, they're watching the new H3 video.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were already on the
Definitely not.
So he's telling the story on your YouTube channel to you, but he doesn't know it's you.
Yeah, and you know, he's like, yeah, me and my brother, he asked us to teach him how to skate, and I don't remember that.
Right.
But I do recall them being really good and just going like, dude.
Yeah, but it's always good to have better people around you.
No.
So that's
see, Silver Creek, there was David Graves. David Graves was H Street. He was in that dude. He was one of the first people I saw do a tray flip at high speed over a gap. Like in San Jose, there's those island gaps when the crosswalks. There's manual pads, or, but they'd have the gaps in between.
It's like a mini street gap.
Yeah,
sure.
And before I'd even seen anybody do a tray flip like in real life on flat ground, he did one over one of those gaps. Like he did a kick flip up the curb, and this is like this is early, like this is 90. It's like 80. Like, well, yeah, I started 88, so this was like 89, 90-ish.
okay.
Wow.
What was it? Shackle Me Not had it been out, but he was in. What was that video? It was This Is Not the H Street video. I think he had a couple clips in it. It was that
was like 91.
the promo. Yeah, it was that promo. He had like clips in it. Okay. But yeah, he was doing all the Matt Hensley tricks. So like all of them, literally. Like he was doing tray flips. He was doing nose bunk tail grabs on these little rails that we used to skate. They were like 4-stair rail. Like it's crazy what we used to skate because so we had to ollie a lot higher. So that's why I always tripped out on how rails, how it progressed, because I learned how to get on rails.
Okay.
And then when I was watching like Zero Days and stuff, a lot of those dudes were ollieing so far out that like when they get on it, it was like level with the steps.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying for me because it's like aim. You got to. So they were probably thinking like, but if they missed, they would fly past. Probably.
There you go.
Yeah, there's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But see, like if you get on top of it, then for the most part, like you usually by the time you you kind of launch yourself to the bottom.
Sure.
Anyways. I don't really go for like 20 stairs or anything like that either.
Yeah.
So, I go for something I can throw myself into the bushes.
Right.
Yeah, I don't like running down steps. Like twisted ankles. And,
You always got tech on more of the smaller rails.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was more your thing. It looked like.
Yeah. So David Graves. There was another guy. He never got Devin, and he had like two brothers. They were all really good. Three generations are all really good. One really young and one in between, and him.
Oh, okay.
Devin Sook.
I
don't think he went on, but he wasn't. They were all really good, and they skated with David. But I don't like David was on another level. He was on another level. Like he was literally like when everybody saw that video, the This Is Not the H Street video. He was doing all those tricks just as good already. Yeah. So it's like it's one thing to be around. A lot of people didn't pick stuff up that easy or quickly back then.
Absolutely.
So, what's sad is that like in the when we graduated, I heard like he kind of had some issues, harder life. I think that kind of I didn't really know much about him. I didn't spend too much time talking to him a whole lot, but I think he was probably really, really, really smart too. See, because most of the people that excel at skateboarding or other things, like technically especially, like trust me, but that's why a lot of people go nuts. That's why they go nuts. Yeah, I try not to overthink things. Like I have discipline. Because I've watched enough people. I've gone around in bouts in my head enough to realize that like, wait, it's not that serious. And saying that, it's kind of funny because I was talking about how I comment on people's stuff on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, Instagram and stuff.
Everybody always thinks that I'm so serious. A lot of times I'm saying funny. It's funny to me,
sure.
of course. And a lot of times when I'm writing it like in a rhyme scheme.
Oh.
so it's not, for like a couple, like when I was in Kansas City, there was a lot for at least 2 years. Like I was writing every day, and pretty much when I was talking to people, I was writing in Scheme.
Oh.
But most people don't. I don't think they realize that. And then, it was also I was working on vocabulary.
Right.
So it's like when you're doing that, you learn words and you're training words. That's the best way to keep them is you have to use them.
You have to use them, right?
I like to communicate, and I spend a lot of time not communicating throughout my life. So when I do, I tend to. That's why tangents,
right?
And people trip out on me because they're like, I spend more time not talking to anybody.
Okay,
I spend more time in here than I do out here.
Sure,
so. They only know what they get.
Exactly.
And it's only a few. I don't do it with everybody because there's some people I know for a fact they won't be able to deal with it. Okay. Like if you start.
You choose your battles.
Yeah.
Right.
And, and it's been some people I thought they could, but then like later on I realized, you held a grudge against me because you thought I was talking down on you.
Sure.
It's like using big words.
Right.
It's like, no, well, look them up and then like get on that level. Instead of like worrying about somebody, like staying where you are, like why don't you raise up?
Yeah. But the internet's a funky place though. You can't, there's no tone.
Well, the most insecure people are on that because
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously not like talking to people in real life very often.
Right.
Let's spend enough time on there just commenting and stuff, and most of their comments you can tell they don't talk to humans. Because you're like,
Sure.
if you talk to that's the reason why they don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
It's like, well, when I talk to people and then they go from, if I say something, like I was talking to this, it was about the military. Mm-hmm. It's like, what is it? Church, it's religion, politics, and military now.
Okay. Yeah.
So you talk about this is sacred for people. So this guy didn't know that the military, like what's going on, it's being used for, what it is. He didn't even have a clue. It's a corporation. It's like business. It's a business. They're over in other people's countries, destabilizing countries, or guarding them, or doing this stuff. But I mean, really, they're supposed to be only for protection.
Sure.
And then on top of that, they're not really supposed to be doing any business on the land here.
Everything's a business now.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
For sure.
But most people don't know that, especially those that sign up to become slaves. Well, not slaves, but indentured servants to it. Because I mean, everybody knows that once you sign that contract, you're theirs.
they own you.
They own your mind because no one can own you. Like literally, like no one can make you do anything.
You can go AWOL.
Yeah, but there's consequences, of course.
Sure,
but
sure.
But that's just the truth. Is no one owns you. You can do whatever you want. But there might be consequences, and that's only based on the contract.
Right.
But they agree to possibly being shot or whatever because so that's pretty extreme for $20,000 for college tuition or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
But most people just don't have an idea what they want to do with the rest of their life.
So it's good for some people.
Oh, and there's the discipline, like I was talking about earlier.
There you go.
A lot of people can't do it on their own.
Right.
So they need somebody to yell at them.
Yeah.
They need a coach.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are trained to have coaches. They went through the school sports and stuff like
There
that.
you go.
That's what they know, and that's why when they get into skateboarding or any of that, team managers are very important. Because they have to have somebody rub the neck and you got it, boy. You got a champ. Like,
Right.
Get out there. Get back out
I'll tell
there.
you exactly what to do.
Yeah, go get me some waters. I'm trying this trick. Well, speaking of sports and everything, did you, besides BMX, did you grow up playing any sports or
nothing official?
baseball or nothing?
I like throwing, shooting hoops or
Sure.
whatever, throwing the ball in a hoop, but I don't like team sports.
No.
I don't, because there is no real team.
Yeah.
Like in most cases, there's, you got ball hugs and whatnot.
There you go. Yeah.
And then football is like, whoever got the ball gets tackled.
No one wants that.
Right.
So, I didn't have an issue. Like, I was like trying to outrun them or whatever, but the overall concept of it is like we weren't really trying to play like they play.
Yeah.
Sure.
We try to, smash them out. Like,
That's why I like flag football. Okay. I don't want anybody touching me or tackling me.
Yeah. But this is when I was younger. I mean, since I've gotten older, I really don't generally like people touching me.
Sure.
You know? Like, I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
You know, you got. Well, I'm saying that in the sense of like, you know, people will get. It's interesting how people can feel so comfortable or think that they feel comfortable around you, where they can just, I've seen you in magazines or videos. I'd punch you, and like,
Sure.
you know, like I
Right.
literally hit me, you know, or like, you know, like accost me, and I'm just
Yeah,
like look
yeah.
at them, and they get frustrated with me because I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, why you just hit me?
But that's the thing. Everybody's different, but they
Exactly.
see you
But
in
see-
this light.
Yeah,
you know?
see, and that's the thing, is that they're coming from their head, but they don't. When people say respect, when they talk about respect,
Mm-hmm.
most people are talking about the respect, and they're thinking about the arrow pointing towards them.
Sure.
But they don't consider, you know, reciprocating
Showing
properly.
respect, yeah.
You know, so they don't know. A lot of people that are that think people hate them. Usually, it's based off of the idea that like they've already like stepped, you know, when they first went to say something to them. A lot of times, there's people that come at me because of, you know, magazines. All that.
Yeah.
I don't know you, so you call me Gersh or call me all these things, and you call me like what you want to call me. You think about that. It's like if you respect somebody, like, and you don't know them, generally. When I was growing up, it's like if you were to like go at somebody that you respected and you wanted to talk to them, you say their name, their real name,
Absolutely.
their full name. You wouldn't nickname. I wouldn't go up to Sugar Ray Leonard and be like, "Hey, Too Sweet." You know what I mean? You know, like,
Right,
That
right.
was his nickname in penitentiary.
But was that your nickname, Gersh? Would people call you like your friends and stuff, or would that just?
See? That's just what it was. Is the shortening of the name? It's
Yeah.
like. Gersh was, I don't even know where that one came from. It's like most of it was just shortening the name.
Yeah, of course.
And seeing that's, you can look at it two different ways. It's like most of the time nicknames aren't really based on respect. Yeah, and it is my name.
Right.
So, but it's not my full name.
Of course.
So, you know, it's like you decide not to add their whole name. It's, I mean, again, I go back to the word respect. It's like most people aren't, they're like, somebody made a comment on my Instagram and he said something about, crash landing. He's like, you know, the way that I skate, like he just made this comment and he thought it was being respectful. And I was just like, that's just a crude way to, he said that, I forget how he said it wasn't what it sounded like, but it's just like, that's a crude way to say that you respect the way that I land. Given that, like the Instagram, the clips that I put up, they were kind of, you know, like I was spilling out of like you know, I was skating this butter bench and it was kind of hot and I was kind of sore from the day before and whatever.
Okay.
You know, most of what I'm doing, like the stuff that I do on the Instagram, I'm just like, I go to spots. Most of them I haven't skated. Most of them I find them, wax them up, or you know, and I get some clips just to continue skating. You know, it's like I created a program. The Park Ranger series was created in a way to stay in shape.
Okay.
You know, like I'll skate anyways, but it gives me something to do and expand. You know, because I mean, I'm going to continue to skateboard and I'll get better. So why? What do you do with a skill? You know, most craftsmen or most people that have skills, they build on it.
Of course,
but a lot of people, they used to be really good. No, they slap at curbs.
Sure.
You know, but and that's not a bad thing.
Right,
but I'm saying that they're trying to, you know, like it's still like it's kind of pushing the ego still. It's like, I'm a skateboarder. Well, we're all humans that use the skateboard.
Sure.
You know, but to say you're a skateboarder is just to say that's who you are. Mm-hmm. And I've had this conversation with other people, and they think they don't get it because it's like, well, before you rode a skateboard, who were you?
Right.
You know, what were you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, you know, how many other skills did you do, and how many skills can you do now? As you ride a skateboard, And, you know, and then when you're off the skateboard, so are you a skateboarder when you're off the skateboard and you're doing editing or something like
Well,
that?
that's the thing is, but as we get older, we develop other skills off the board, and you start
we
at a
had
young
skills.
age.
Most of us had, a lot of us had skills before we got on the board.
Yeah, but sometimes we don't discover those skills until we're older. You know, like I
is
was
true,
a good.
but I knew a lot of people that were great artists.
Oh, there you go.
You know, they've
Right.
always been great artists, and that's why they were great skateboarders too, because they saw it as art as opposed to competition.
Right.
So they weren't rigid when they're skating.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You know,
Like myself.
like yourself.
Shit, thank you. Chris. I overstepped. You wanted to say it for me.
Yeah, because I mean, I was watching a lot of your clips. I was just the balance.
Oh.
It's like you, Beeble, this guy, you know,
Kelly,
like you, like when you I don't do a lot of manuals. You know? I'm like really, I'm lazy more so. I can do,
they take a lot of work.
yeah, it sucks when you slam on, like I'm skating a curb and I just get whipped to the ground really,
Right.
and I'm injured, you know, like
Yeah,
off
you're
of
like-
a manual.
You're like, this curb's 6 inches high.
So if I had pride, it's gone when I'm laying on the ground. It's like normally, you know, it's fine. I can fall down, but off a manual. but I've always been, you know, it gets me hyped to watch people do clean like manuals or grinds and stuff like that. Just like, you know, like floating.
Thank you. Everybody's got their little craft. You know what I mean? Like, I think you kind of hone in and,
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
and do what's fun. Do what you like to do, you know?
I was gonna say I feel like your specialty was like the spots that you would find. That was like
yeah.
your creative.
Well, and that's what that's what I'm that's what I do. Like
Yeah.
it's the journey, you know. It's like, I mean, most people are looking for the destination. I'm it's like, there's all this around. It's like, okay, so once I find, I don't even find it. I just come across this thing, and then there's this, and then okay, I got that, and so
you just
go
seem to
around the
skate.
corner. There's something else, a little wall ride or something. This skateboarding. This is how it was. This is how it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the park rangers thing where you just go out to every park
Yeah.
and just skate these parks that you've probably never even skated before.
and that was a big thing about it too. Is like a lot of the parks, I'd make sure that I wouldn't go if I went there. I'd do the park rangers there because they would be fresh. You know, like I don't really like to go to park. You know, I've done some, but I don't like to go to parks that I've skated a lot because then it's like, well, I already have stuff like in my mind. You know,
Now, when you're doing your routine,
Sure.
routine,
When you were filming like video parts and stuff, would you not want to go back to the same? Like, if you didn't get a trick, would you just kind of? Would you want to go back, or would you?
This is one of the things that
keep it fresh?
This is one of the things that I've thought about in recent times. Is that like I never really planned any of my parts. I just went. I would go Chris Avery.
I was going to say that because you've had tons and tons of footage, and it just seems like you're just cruising
random.
around.
It's just random.
It's exciting, dude.
If I had a filmer and and we go to the spot, I get clips, and it's like, well, it's like, oh, they need clips for this video. I have like a bunch.
Sure.
I never had as much as Mark did. Do you remember?
Well, you were up there.
Check this out. Well, check this out.
You were up there though, yeah.
Check this out. Remember Montage?
Yep.
So Mark had, when he did Montage, he had that part, and that part's pretty long, and it's got like some hefty stuff in it. And then he had like, I think, enough for like 3 other parts. He had like 40 minutes of like solid footage, but he was living with Chris Avery too.
Who filmed and stuff.
They were out
You're
like
attached to the hip.
always.
Yeah.
Right.
But if I was living with Avery, if I was going out, yeah.
Game over.
But here's a question. This may be weird, but what do you think? Like coming out with all that footage all the time, do you think it was too much coming out? Because sometimes, that like.
Look at Instagram now, though.
I know, but back then too, it was like you would see those skaters.
But see, the thing is that there was only so many outlets.
Back
so
then,
there was a lot more footage being held back than there was being put
That's
out
true.
too. So and that was I don't know. I didn't really even consider it.
Yeah,
I felt like-
looking back now,
I felt like you were always in the right videos. That was
true.
You were always in like
The Reason
the
and
4-in-1, and you guys would make your own videos.
Well, but the thing is that when it's like coming here, it's like when somebody asks me to film or do, if it was legit, then
You're down,
like,
yeah.
I'm down. It's like, this is what I'm doing. This is, if you want to work with me, then
let's get it.
let's do this. Yeah.
For sure.
That's always been my philosophy on things, and most people that they'll have a different idea of me. They've never worked with me,
Right.
or they're not, or when we were working. They were trying to work me.
Okay,
you know,
right,
they're trying
right,
to get
right.
out, but.
Well, we want to do a video part with you. Okay, we want to next week. Do you think you could do that? Just go out and skate with Raj. We'll get
and that's actually that's another thing about the Instagram stuff is that I'm finding spots. So like if I do film a part, I have now since I've been here, people ask me, you want to go film or you want to go out and skate? I'm like, I don't know where to go.
Right.
Because it's so much around, but I don't know where anything is.
Yeah.
You know, and the stuff that I knew where it was, it's like I'm not even sure if it's still the same or still there.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
So I'm not trying to. I have to go on.
It's a mission.
Go on recon or something.
Right.
You know?
Now, do you enjoy going on the missions and the recon?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Right.
I mean, like my thing with the Instagram, it's like every day I put something up. I try to put something up every day. You know, on the weekends I usually put up I call them superimposed or I'll put up spoken word or something like that, or it's just something I wrote.
Sure.
But like during the week it's just like I put the skateboarding, you know, like I opened it up as a business. I started it, I think, as just a normal Instagram. Then it was like, oh, you know, if you do business, you can see all the analytics and all this stuff.
There you go.
And so I got into that, but now it's like I don't really care.
Yeah. Well, no, totally. Like I have the same thing, and like at first I'm like
it's
looking at like
all the numbers is like but then that doesn't equate to anything. You got all. Right. It's like say. Facebook some years back, it was like, you know, booming. And then it's like, I still have a Facebook page and it's like within the last 6 months, it seemed like it just like
goes down. Yeah.
It's less and less and less.
For sure.
But, you know, it's always been like, okay, so I have so many, I get in certain moods and I'll cut people off. I used to have like, to a point to where my Facebook would have had to flip me into a fan page or something like that. Oh. So I most of the people don't communicate. I don't communicate with them. I cut them off. I cut now probably.
What do you mean, like block them?
No, just
like,
unfriend them.
Unfriend.
Oh, yeah. Got you.
So it's like so now what I have only.
So you're trying to avoid being a fan page.
Yeah. Because I mean, it didn't. You know, I was on Facebook to communicate with people.
Right.
You know, I post up, share stuff and all that. But it's a social media, right?
There you go.
You know, like
it's trying to be social on there, yeah.
You know, and it works to the extent of like getting, you know, communicating with people that you don't, you know, around the world.
Absolutely.
That you're not gonna call on the phone or things like that. You can see what they're doing. That, you know, vice versa.
Friends, family, stuff like that. Yeah.
But you know, it's interesting though. It's like sometimes it's like the people you think you know you would have the interactions with. They're on your friends page. You never talk to them.
Of course.
Never ever.
Of course.
And some of them I've kept on, but I've cut some family people off.
Oh yeah.
It's like you don't ever talk to me.
Yeah, but it's hard though because like we're, you know, professional skateboarders in the light.
Well,
and,
but I get that, and you know,
people want to be your friend.
Yeah.
You know?
But what does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything, but they still want to be your friend.
They can still follow.
Yeah, sure.
You know, like I mean, so I take it literally. Like, what does the word friend mean? It's like but it's this platform, but literally, like people don't know what that word means. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, you know, it's not a given. You're not just like it's like this. Is I can say if I've known you for a while, or I've known anybody for a while, all you can say is that you are their friend, or they can say that they're your friend. But you can't say that they are your friend.
Like I can't say that we're friends, right? I could say I'm your friend.
Yeah.
But now I'm waiting for you to say it. You're my friend.
It's got to be reciprocated.
Yeah, right.
Of
course.
And that's the thing. It's like, obviously I'm your friend.
Thank you.
You know,
but not on Facebook.
Not on Facebook. Well, that's just going to be changed tonight.
See, you know, and that's the thing. You know, with Facebook too, it's like, you know, there's a lot of people that they'll have the pages and they don't use them. Use it. So what does that mean? Also, it's
right.
Like, so I'm not a collector like that. Actually, that's a thing. That's a big thing. Is that's what these things really are for?
Yeah.
Trading cards. We were trading cards physically. We're physical trading cards, for a lot of people.
It's true.
Yeah.
They're like, look, I got a Gershon Mosley on my Facebook page.
But let's take it back though, because we left off when you were growing up. You guys moved to San Jose, right? And then you started skating.
Well, actually, I moved to San Jose with my mom and my brothers because I was separate from them for, I don't know, my mother says like 6 months, but when you're young, time's so much longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was long enough to where I had a different perspective on them. Like I don't know, it's weird. It's like
older brothers, younger brothers.
At the time they were old. There's like two older brothers.
Okay.
And I have like 2 younger brothers.
Oh, gotcha.
And then a sister.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did they skate at all?
The youngest brother. He skated for a while.
Okay.
And he might do. He's working. He has a child now, so he I don't know. I think he might get back into it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's up to
So what do you mean you felt removed from them, or they weren't?
Basically, I'll just say like when I was in my 20s, I started to have like abandonment issues.
Oh,
because
okay.
like so I have all this attention.
Sure.
But then my family, I'm like estranged from my family.
Gotcha.
However, my great grandmother, like we had, this is one of the things that's kind of that with certain people I have a connection that we will last forever.
Okay,
because
right.
I don't, certain people, if they're not like grilling me about stuff, they don't give me a hard time, then life it's
beautiful.
I have a friend, Brian McNaughton.
Okay.
He's from Boise, Idaho. I think he's in Portland right now. But I would go up and visit him in San Francisco. And he wasn't a pro skateboarder or anything like that. He was a DJ and just super cool dude. It's like I have like certain Jordan Maurer. He's somebody, the one I would say is my best friend from Kansas City.
Okay.
Like I would enjoy, he's like really good guitarist,
wow.
like really good musician and I could talk to him.
Yeah.
See, that's very important. It's like communication.
Absolutely.
A lot of people I know have known skateboarding was our connection, and part of that was also the disconnect because a lot of times many of them were competitive. So I'm competitive, but against myself.
Sure.
See, I used to play skate like switch versus regular. So this is how I got my
So you tried a tray flip and tried a switch tray flip?
That's tight.
yeah,
That's a good idea, actually.
So that's how you solitary. Like my great grandmother would play solitaire against herself, and
You would play skate against yourself. You do a regular tray flip, and then you go and do a switch tray flip. If you miss a switch tray flip, you got an S.
Yes, for switch.
Did switch ever beat regular?
Yeah, what was going on there?
Yeah.
Well, no, at times it did. Yeah. I mean, it just depended on how I was feeling that.
Would you keep track of the score with both ends? So you'd be like, who's
until
regular
I was
to-
done. I mean,
that's hard to keep track of.
Did you ever get mad at yourself?
I think I did a lot of that. I did a lot of that to not get mad.
Yeah, who wins a Rochambeau?
You gotta flip a coin.
But I did a lot of stuff like I do some of the things I do and how I do them so I don't get mad. So like when I skate, like I go and I'll think of something I want to do, but then I'll do other things to get to that point. So if I don't get that thing, I'll have all these other things.
There you go.
It may not be, and then I'll have a better idea of how, if I can or can't do that, if I have to go back.
Okay.
And that's, again, going back to what I've been doing, like a lot of the spots I'm going to, I'm breaking them in and seeing what's possible for me to do there. Because a lot of times when you see certain spots, if something pops in your mind.
Absolutely.
I wanna
Probably
do
the
this.
hardest shit ever pops in your mind.
And seeing in the past, like I would see spots and then I would try to go back there and just film with a filmer or something like that. And then that's where
you start.
Mental stress kicking.
Yeah, but I seldom had meltdowns, especially around other people. But like that's when you really kind of drive yourself nuts. Is because you like, there's cracks that you didn't see.
Oh no, you start analyzing everything.
This ledge is actually like made of stucco, and but you still want to go at it. It's like,
even if your pants, you're not wearing the right pants.
Well, Gershon usually take off his shirt first.
That's true.
You were always known to sweat a lot, so
for sure. And the white shirts don't last. Like white shirts one day.
That's exactly.
But I'm sure it's not just me.
Yeah, no, it's everybody. But going out and filming, that was your mindset, was just going out and skating these spots.
Well, I would just usually when we go out and skate, didn't have a lot. Most of the time, I didn't have an idea of what I was trying to go get.
No,
I was just going out. Going out
skating.
And it's better if I go to places I've never been, and especially like spots that people have. There's usually at the spots that like are known. There's all these other spots around it.
Yeah. Sure,
but a lot of the other spots nobody fucks with it because it's not like something they think about.
Exactly.
A lot of people grew up skating in skate parks or grew up skating at a specific type of spot, so their minds are set in a like. Television.
They only see El Toro.
Well, that's the thing. But I think it's so few and far between these days. I mean, there's like these skaters. Like, do you follow Vincent Alvarez? Do you know?
I don't follow him, but I know who he is. He's very good.
He's the one who takes the alternate path.
Yeah.
He's the one going out and finding these spots, and I'm like, how does he skate those things?
He's just cruising around.
It's amazing.
He's like the new generation. Rudy Johnson, Guy Mariano.
Totally.
Exactly.
He's cut from the same cloth.
It sounds like for you is that they would like I could imagine you filming for the reason like you would go to these handrails, whatever, and then you would skate it. You'd probably skate it and then find spots around what you were skating.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that let's see. You mentioned the reason that like that line with the I nollie 180 over the tree that up ledge.
Oh yeah, the up rail. Switch rail heel.
I went there. I was taken there because we met up with Lambert and some other dudes. I think. It wasn't just Lambert, but I think Ty was there. Ty.
Oh yeah.
And so it was a group of people anyway, and I think we went to hit that spot, but then there was these other rails that are like in the next building over, and I did like a 50-50 and a front board slide on. They were like really high wheelchair ramp rails. That was just right over there.
Oh yeah.
And there was and I think I have to watch it again, but there's probably some other stuff but that's usually what happened.
That's how it fly.
Well,
how long did it take you to film The Reason?
Well, the reason came about like some of the was trips like that switch Smith on the switch feeble grind.
Okay,
we were going up north, and that was on the same trip that I had the Third Army line.
Oh yeah,
and so went on a trip with Ty and Atiba. So and all that stuff. I think that was all that rail stuff was that one night, and we went back because we got kicked out. So I had on I had shorts afterwards when I did switch feeble.
Different, right?
So I sweated out and then I changed clothes and then I did that. I got warmed up and did it again.
Right.
So that's what happened.
It must have been about like 6 months to a year. Cairo was on too, saying that
Cairo said it was about 6 months.
About 6 months. Yeah.
But he was filming before that.
That's true.
Yeah, and I think. I have to watch the part again, but the clips there was some clips that I had with Avery or that I had already.
So you had footage already going in.
Yeah, there were some clips that I already had.
Okay, right.
I always had footage.
Which is
I always have footage.
Yeah.
You
got footage right now?
I got footage right now. And it's not just a tripod.
No. Okay.
I got some Chris Barber footage from Kansas City.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
How was when you kicked with front nose Hub a Hideout? Was that on a trip for?
No, that was just I think Avery's filmed that. If I'm not mistaken, but we would go up to the city every now and then. Yeah. I'd go skate with those dudes and go up to the city.
Did you know you were going to try that, or was that one of those things where you just came across it and did it?
You see the on video where I do I was warming up, so generally when I'd skate Hubba, I just or skate anything.
Oh, dude, you Swiss Smith grinded back in the day.
Yeah.
That was when I was on Powell.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so that's how I got up to that, because I go there and skate or any rail or anything like that. I just do all the stuff to get comfortable.
Sure.
So then you get your pop, because you're like, okay, so then switch is like, usually when you're starting out, if you don't just go for switch and you're not in that mind state, it's hard to get yourself up on it. So like, I do all that basic stuff and then go from there. But like we skated it. I'd skated a couple times.
Okay.
But I hadn't skated Hubba more than probably 5 times in my
That's
life.
it?
Really?
Yeah. Well, how many tries did it take the kickflip from front nose?
Probably wasn't like super right away.
No?
I don't recall. You have to ask Mark, or I think Mark and Jerry were there. You'd have to ask them.
I feel like you would get tricks quickly, and
It depends on what it is.
That's an outsider looking into.
It depends on what it is and where it is and how I'm thinking.
Sure.
Because there's sometimes things just go.
They just
like
happen.
It's because of the mind state. But if I'm like tripping on something too hard, then sometimes it's like if I'm going to do a gap and I'm thinking about it too hard, like if I'm going to try to throw a flip trick down it, usually I throw the flip trick down it, and I usually don't pop it up.
You throw it down.
So it takes me a minute to get out of that mind state, because when you go for a tray flip and you kick it down, it's hard to get your because that's you're like the way you're looking at the gap before you get to it.
Sure.
You're actually looking at the gap, so you have to get past that mindset. So I have to think like I'm on flat ground, and then I'm just like, before I get to the gap, I'm popping it and I'm looking
Where do you want to land?
Yeah.
Wait, did you say you were on Powell when you did the kickflip front nose?
No, the
Switch Smith.
Switch
Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, because when you were filming for The Reason, wasn't that around like 18 time?
18, yeah.
18 never came out with a video.
No.
Well, they had parts in like Day One versus Rodney.
Yeah,
Well,
there
Rodney
was
Day
that.
One.
But
true.
you know what they were doing there? You know who got paid for that?
Who?
Whose names were on the video? But who?
Rodney and Day One.
Yeah,
Right.
So yeah, and see, so and that became an issue with Blind, and this became apparent because, so 18 probably would have never had a video, because where would Rodney have been? Where would Rodney had been in the video?
First or last?
But would that have really worked?
I don't know.
Other than the fact that he's that dude,
Right.
Yeah.
But
I imagine
Literally-
second to last at that time.
literally, like, that was probably why it would have never happened,
Oh.
dude. Like, I mean, the team
was heavy.
and Rodney's really good at what he does.
Sure.
But like, we all kind of.
He was also in charge of all that too.
But what I realized that what it was the three ring circus. Rodney's the main attraction, because every demo we ever did, he would do he'd start with the spin at the end, and it would shut down every demo.
So
he'd do the G-turn, and he'd shut down every demo. Everyone. It was
Really?
the same thing. It was the same thing. It was like routine.
Ah.
See, because when we'd be skating the street course, he skated what he could.
Sure.
Like,
Right. He wouldn't go out there and do his freestyle run.
No, that was the freestyle runs afterwards. That
was the closer.
But that was the
Right.
closer. But that was the whole thing. And I realized, I was like, oh shit, that's what he had us. He got us around him to keep him, and that's what he's done. That's how he's kept, and he's never had to. It's like he hasn't entered a contest since freestyle. But he's pro.
Yeah.
And literally anyone contest doesn't necessarily shouldn't be the reason why you're pro.
Right.
But and he definitely deserves it because of the work that he put in. He would go on trips, and he's inspiration.
He's
for a
laid
lot
the
of people.
foundation.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not trying to say he didn't deserve that.
Got you.
But it was the way that it was handled. And I remember there was
It's all marketing too, though.
Oh, it's totally marketing.
Yeah.
No, see, that was the thing is, but you realize I was gonna say that saying that there's no I in team, but they found it in the A-hole. Really, A-team was about him. I was in Canada, and this was with Human. This was right before, and I had issues with the border, and so like they came in and Rodney saw me, and Rodney obviously had this idea that this was right after Plan B left.
Okay.
So, and it probably wasn't Rodney's idea. It was probably Rocco's idea because Rocco swore up and down. He didn't know what the A-team was. But then he shows up he's in the office with the board game.
Yeah.
So, but and we know how they did what they did to Powell. That was the whole. That was their business.
Sure.
But so there's a lot, and all that being said is just like there's interesting things I learned about how things are handled, and the whole idea of being pro, and then what I could have became. I chose not to become a certain idea for other people.
For other people, yeah.
Because if I stayed, kept chasing the notes, kept trying to be in league, then
be the puppet.
Huh?
Be the puppet.
Yeah. Then what was that? What was that in Batman? They were talking about is like you live long enough, you'll see your heroes become the villain.
Yeah.
No, I mean, do you think that like the whole industry and stuff, like, is that why you?
It's not the whole. It's just relationships I had. And then there's other, I did business with quite a few people during my time. A lot of people only were with a couple companies, and even when they were with them, they weren't really working with them. They were sponsored by them.
Yeah, right.
So they didn't even know anything about what goings on inside. They didn't talk to the warehouse people. They didn't know about like numbers or anything.
No, a lot of them don't. Yeah.
So,
they're just getting boards or whatever else.
Yeah, boards and a paycheck.
Yeah, it's totally different mentality, and that's a lot of people. And now, and especially now with the agents.
Oh my God,
dude. So we had to do our deals back in the days.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. But now it's like people get like super good deals and stuff like that. But you think about it, it's like if no brands are wanting to pay for them anymore and all this stuff, then they can't pay the agent. The agent is probably going to find them like some more work somehow, a movie or something like that, whatever.
Right, yeah.
Because because that's what it is that they're trying to make sure they get paid.
Of course, they get a percent.
Yeah. So they make sure that they send you to the job. You got to do this. That's why they're the coach.
Yeah.
I'm really
You're
interested.
basically working for them now.
Literally. Yeah. They just jumped on your back.
Yeah, pretty much.
Seriously, I'm really interested though. If say when you were like, Powell, where'd you go from Powell to?
Actually, let's go back to the first sponsor.
My first
real quick
sponsor,
though.
Was it Sims or Santa Cruz?
Not Sims. I never did Sims, but New Deal.
Really?
Actually, I didn't really get on. Well, it was like this. Useless wooden toys. If you watch the whole video, my name is the last one.
Really?
It says special thanks, and my name is the last one.
Really?
Because I got on. Well, I didn't get on. Steve Douglas, him, Danny Sargent, and who else?
Viceller Skate Camp.
No, it was at Go Skate in San Jose. They came there and did a demo, and they were just creating New Deal. Smith's stick had been dissolved, and they were like making New Deal. So it was brand new board company, and so they came there, and then I was talking to who was it? I don't think I was talking to Danny. I was talking to Douglas, and I was just asking him what's up, and he was like, "Well, first you need a shop sponsor. You need a show. This is a lot of people. Most people don't know this. You have to have a showroom. So if you get a sponsor, that's the transaction. It's like, okay, so you're sponsored by this shop. So this shop if we sponsor you, then the shop is going to carry this product,
right?
And not only carry it, but you're billboard, so they should sell more of it.
There you go.
That's the whole. That's what a lot of people don't know about sponsorship. But you got most people. How do I get sponsored?
Right.
Location.
Yeah, when they're saying that, what they're saying is, how do I get free shit?
Sure.
Without obligation. Because once you start asking for shit like video footage or photos,
right.
Even when you send them out with a filmer or you hook them up with,
Yep.
it's kind of interesting.
you rode for a shop. Did you go out and get a shop
so
sponsor?
Go Skate, yeah. So I would. That was where I hung out. And Mike, what was his name? Mike Hoffman. Oh. Mike Hoffman was the not the owner, but he was the manager of the Go Skate.
Okay.
And Almaden Valley is the Go Skate. It was the main one. Mm-hmm. And the owner was Dale Smith.
Okay.
I have to mention him because this guy's funny. he would tell like good yarns.
Okay.
You know, like stuff that you'd be like, yeah, buddy.
Okay.
but okay, so Mike Hoffman, this guy, before I did anything, this guy I would always break kingpins. I
weird.
Broke so many kingpins, and even when I was working with Donald, I'd break Grand Kings. I'd break those things.
Really?
I broke kingpins.
Why? What the hell were you doing?
Were you riding low trucks?
I was riding Indies back then.
Such a weird
This
thing.
was before low trucks.
Yeah.
And I was just breaking.
Indies kingpins did break a lot back in the day.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I was going to say it's such a weird thing to
'cause
break.
When I worked at a shop, I'd be.
I haven't really broken any because of the low geometry. I think is a lot of it. Because the trucks because they would bend them.
Okay.
Because they were
I think they're using better like hardened steel and everything else now.
that too.
Yeah.
That too. But if you look at the trucks back then, the space between is a lot different. The bushings are a lot smaller now.
Yeah, and they would always break with the threads.
Yeah,
Met the
right there,
shaft.
and then you have to hammer it out like on a curve with a screwdriver.
I used a metal vise and just.
Yeah, well, I didn't have access to that. We're on a curb.
Yeah.
So the skate shop, the Go Skate.
So Mike Hoffman. So anyways, So all that being said, he hooked me up.
Okay.
He was already hooking me up pretty much. For me being like just. Hang out and probably it was just kingpins and stuff like that.
Sure, little things.
Basics.
Yeah. All that being said is just I wanted to talk about him for a second, just because he was like Slappy, Chris Sutherland, they were big key parts. Like Chris Sutherland, he did a lot of stuff with he's done a lot of stuff for Huff and a lot of industry, Alien Workshop and all that.
Oh wow!
But yeah, I get the shop sponsor, so then I Douglas. Pretty much he's like, we're not going to put you on, but this is like probation. We're going to get footage for the video. And then after that, we'll
assess the situation.
On. So we're going to pimp you and see if people, we're going to throw you out there on the line and see if people like you.
Okay.
If they bite, then we're going to put you on. But if they don't,
so basically kind of flow at that point.
Yeah, I was a flow.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great decks and stuff, but see, this was the clincher. So they had their own wheels. And New deals, yeah. You know about those, right?
Raj knows everything.
Yeah, so Chris, I meet Chris, and Chris, pretty much right away, kind of starts to back me, So he, gets my video and gives it to Gavin O'Brien, who was the team manager of Santa Cruz at the time.
Yeah.
So Gavin wants me to ride for Speed Wheels, Indy, and the boards.
Okay.
I wanted to ride for New Deal. And Douglas was I was getting Douglas Flow Indies.
Oh.
So I wouldn't be on Indy.
Gotcha.
And then I wanted to ride for New Deal, but I was like, I don't want to ride those wheels.
You weren't gonna. Why were
they bad?
Oh,
the cords would expand.
Yeah.
Like you would be rolling.
Your bearing would be bouncing around inside.
Yeah,
of
it was.
What?
Man.
They were the worst ever.
The
It's
urethane was
I
terrible.
don't think I've ever had any wheels that were worse than that.
No.
I never thought of that happening.
Yeah.
It was like a real bad batch.
They were. Yeah, they were. Yeah, it must have been because they were terrible. They were the worst. And
So you had this option of
it's like
Santa Cruz and New Deal.
Yeah, and I wanted to ride for New Deal because it was dope graphics. Fucking what's his name?
Ed Templeton.
Ed Templeton. Yeah, he was pro on it. But what's his name?
Armando Barajas.
This is prior to. This was before. This was the beginning.
Okay.
Danny Sargent.
No, but
Justin Gerard. Andy Howell.
Andy Howell.
Oh.
The artist. Andy Howell.
His shit was dope.
Actually, it was this another tangent or whatever. But I end up with Santa Cruz.
Oh,
obviously. So I do the skate camp in the Dalles, Oregon. and Andy Hell's there. They have him. He didn't really. I don't think he didn't really skate much, but he was around the whole time. Because they had had him there for celebrity.
Sure.
And at the end of it, he gave me his check.
What do you mean?
I was amateur, and I wasn't paid to be there. I was sent there to be there at the skate camp, and he was paid to be there
For Santa Cruz, you were there for?
Yeah. And he gave me his check.
What do you mean his pro check?
No, his check for showing up at the skate park.
For showing up there.
Well, no, but he gave me his check. I wasn't supposed to get a check.
How much was the check
So
for?
he just did pay the order to Gershon Mosley.
I forget.
That's a
That's
a nice gesture.
See, that was the thing is, and I don't even remember the number. I was just like, holy shit, this dude just did that. And then I even thinking about I was still kind of marinating on the whole concept of Douglas was pissed at me. I mean, if he
Douglas is such a nice guy. I don't feel like he can be mad at you for very long.
Well, no, we talked about it. We got over it. But it took a while and it was in Europe. I went up to him and he was still kind of right. And it was because I just bailed on it because he did hook me up and and I was just like, but dude.
The brand was young at the time too.
Well, but it was just that was gonna fuck up my skateboard in those wheels.
Still about the wheels, right?
That's what it was all about, really, because it was I wanted to write for New Deal, but,
right?
Or work with them because
the turbines though.
Well, yeah, but this is a beginning.
Right.
All I'm seeing is what I'm dealing with. We're only in the present, and I'm thinking it's I push. And I'm not going any faster.
So they lost you because of the wheels.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because if they would have if they would have been okay, you can do the speed wheels thing.
You would have done. You would have been on.
I would have been New Deal.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is that I wasn't guaranteed on, and there was no footage, so I really couldn't say if I would have been on. And another reason why I chose is because I was like, okay, so I saw Montesi footage, so I was similar, but not even close to as good. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, dude, and then you saw the rest of there's all these other dudes that they put on. There's a lot of.
Well, they had a lot of dudes. I feel like they're just kind of just.
No, they just grabbed.
Just throwing it, spraying it.
They did.
Yeah.
And they did. And that's how they
and
built
see
it.
what rose to the top.
Yeah, no, that's what they did.
Yeah.
And that's what I realized also when he was saying that to me. Yeah. And I was just like, I'm not taking that risk.
Yeah.
But also, too, you have a sure thing over. You have somebody that wants
that's what I'm
you.
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
It's for sure. And that's how I was looking at it. I was like, well, you give me an iffy, and this is a yes.
Right.
They were just throwing shit at the wall and see what stick.
Huh. Interesting. How long were you on Santa Cruz for?
4 years?
2 years. It was about 2 years.
Right.
2 years?
See,
You're in Troops of Tomorrow.
Huh?
Troops of Tomorrow, right?
Troops of Tomorrow and High Karate.
That's right.
What year was this?
92.
High Karate was sick.
Oh, actually, wait. No, I was Santa Cruz from 90 till 92, 93.
And you had parts in these videos?
Yeah.
Wow. I need to see this.
It sounds to me like you got sponsored by Santa Cruz 2 years after you started skating.
Yeah. but remember again, David Graves. I was lucky enough to be around certain people,
Sure,
and then when we could go skate,
but still
skating downtown San Jose, there was pros around, and dudes had ramps, or we got the Carl Hyman. Those dudes that we got to see skate, cabs, and guys. So we weren't. It wasn't just I was out in the Midwest, and there was
Who's the first pro you met?
The first pro.
Louis Barletto?
I didn't meet Louis until after 2000 or no, it was probably late 90s, but
I'm just kidding.
I don't, first pro.
Sounds like there was a bunch of them out there.
Todd Prince, maybe?
Todd Prince.
Or what was it? He wrote Zorlak. He was from Texas, but he was in San Jose for JJ Rogers.
Okay. There you go.
Wade Spire, Ross Goodman. But Ross Goodman, I really liked Ross Goodman's style. There was something about Ross Goodman, and his decks were pretty tight too.
Okay.
I didn't really know him that well, but I was, it was kind of interesting.
Were you watching a lot of videos back then?
As much as I could, but VCR couldn't really just. I didn't watch a lot of videos.
Okay.
I was out skating most of the time because I couldn't really afford. I couldn't afford videos, first of all, and then the VCR wasn't just up for grabs, so I couldn't just go watch whatever I wanted.
But plus, it sounds like you were watching live.
Yeah,
pretty,
well, it wasn't
pretty good
it wasn't
skating.
that off. It wasn't as much as but it was enough to where you get inspired and you see this stuff go down. And then I had the curb or these bumps around my house and stuff, and I just go, I go and just learn.
Did you ever do like Candy Warehouse?
Yeah. Corey O'Brien, get the fuck out of here. that was one of the first, introduction to that place. I was sticking my head in there, get the fuck out of here.
You're like, I ride for Santa Cruz though.
No, this is before that.
This was a year earlier.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I mean, like 2 years though. That's pretty amazing though to develop that fast to get sponsored.
But at the same time, I think it was our generation developed quick. There was stuff that was going on before us that we kind of got in. We saw because I mean,
your generation pretty much pushed out all the vert guys in a way.
Yeah. I mean, because those dudes hated us. They hated us. Rightfully so. No, they hated us before we even got in.
Yeah,
they were dicks. Most of the older guys, they're dickheads.
Yeah,
it wasn't like it is now. Like we're hey bro,
right?
Right. Even if
we're all cool now.
Even if it's a fake smile, it wasn't that. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, straight up. You're not.
So that's why you didn't take up vert.
Yeah. and then on top of that, I don't like heights.
No. Oh, you're afraid of heights?
I'm not afraid. I just respect it.
I
respect. Dude, he's hella good on video ramp.
Well, that's mini ramp. Yeah, it's like it's low. I don't have to fall so far.
Sure.
I mean, I can skateboard, but it's like it doesn't. I don't know. I don't get excited about it.
No.
Mini ramp is better because better to me because it's like street because I mean you can pop off the coping, but I don't like to pop off the coping. I don't do the coping bounce. Yeah. I only do that if I have to.
Sure.
And I learned that's why I don't skate vert is because when I did that on vert. One
flat ground.
One good time all the way to the not all the way, but you land so low and it just jars your back and you just So I was just like, I don't really want it, or running out.
Yeah.
Like
you put those knee pads on.
Nah, at knee pads I go to hipper.
Yeah.
So I didn't learn how to use knee pads or any of that stuff. That's why I don't do it. Helmet, I always fall on my shoulder It's always I feel so stupid because it doesn't weigh anything extra, but it feels like it's like my head feels like
just bobblehead.
You would have been knee sliding out of rails and stuff. If they
that reminds me of this dude we used to call Eraserhead. He skated this pool and he had these knee gaskets on. He thought he had pads on.
Oh shit! Didn't have pads.
Didn't have pads.
Well, you become so accustomed to that. It's your go-to, right?
Yeah.
And knee gaskets
rubbed this shit off. It just grabbed the knee gaskets, took them down, and just rubbed his knees off.
Later. Oh my god! So you're on Santa Cruz 2 years, right? Weren't they going to take your board away or something?
Yeah.
And that's
there was so Sims. So you mentioned Sims earlier. So Andy Roy was on Santa Cruz a lot. So Sims was it's the same thing.
It was licensed under Santa Cruz.
It was licensed under Santa Cruz. So they brought a new brand under during the time that I came in because Andy Roy was still on Santa Cruz and not just him but a bunch of other dudes.
Okay.
So they brought Sims on, and then they were thinking it was going to go off, so they put them on, and they turned some of those dudes pro and stuff like that. Oh. And so I was, so that made it so that I could go pro in Santa Cruz.
Sure.
I was getting coverage and stuff like that, so it made sense at the time. But and street skating was coming in, but they didn't like it so much.
Did you go Santa Cruz to Powell?
No,
there was
it was in between. There was a company he may have made like 10 boards. It was called Me Skateboards. On my Instagram, I have in the beginning, I put all.
I think I remember that.
It was a whiteboard and it had Mark Gonzalez's face on it, and it just said Me Skateboards and it had my name under it.
Okay. Huh. I think I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
And that was after
This was
Santa
right
Cruz?
after Santa Cruz.
Okay.
And then after that, then I went to Hazmat.
Huh.
And then from Hazmat,
And Hazmat was wait, you and
there was
Eric Dresden?
Hazmat. Then was there? It was Milk. Then Powell.
Oh,
You were
Milk
on
too.
Milk too?
Yeah. MSG. It was after Josue was not there. It was with Mike Griffin, and who else was on Milk? Yoshiabiyashi.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's
His name's
another-
come up a couple times.
Another phenomenal skateboarder. That dude, like, I watched him do and this is he quadruple flips like consistently. He did in Sacramento. I think it was one of those regionals. It was like a bank. He went up front foot impossible, late back foot flip.
What?
He was ultra technical, and it's weird when I see it. When I was seeing him when I was up in Seattle, living in Seattle, he refused to do any of that. I learned that the Serio is the popsicle, like the A-team trick.
Oh yeah.
That was his trick. I learned it from
It's
him.
kind of like that Ron Allen 1 foot.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it-
and
but it
that's
kinda,
how
it goes
that's
over
No,
more.
you then you catch it.
Yeah.
you catch it in between your legs like
Yeah.
that. But that's how I learned it, is because I learned how to do the Ron Allen 1 foots first.
Yeah.
And then, and before I learned how to do regular 1 foots, and I used to do them Ron Allen.
Yeah.
So, and then when I saw him do that trick, and then it made more sense to me.
Did you ever get like fucked up trying that trick? Did you ever like hit your legs super hard or something like that inside?
Really? No, I don't think I've ever really like gotten, because I usually throw it away if it like you can tell when it's not gonna work out. Just take it away, bail out. Like I've never tried to go down. Like if it's not coming down right, I kick it away.
Right. Huh.
You can get wrecked in that thing.
Interesting.
But that's not unfortunate. I was a shit. Like I didn't like that idea. I don't like one-uppers. Not really.
You don't like the A-team thing.
I was anti one-uppers, and this is something that they had us doing. So I was just like, well, I'll just do something that's gonna either make people not want to try it,
Okay.
or you're gonna have to earn your stripes.
Right.
I could imagine how many people got hurt trying what you did.
Yeah.
Well, and then on top of that, it had to be like kind of comparable.
Totally,
So
yeah.
it had to be like that pyramid I did it over was like, if you go to Pleasant Valley, or Pleasanton. Pleasanton, North. It's not a huge pyramid, but it just like it's like steep, and it's hard to like go over and go back in.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, it's
Seems sketchy.
it is pretty sketchy. but I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it on something good,
Sure.
something different, and
Yeah.
so. And I hadn't seen it really, like, well, when I would see Yoshi, when he would do it, he'd do it like
What did you call it?
the Cereal?
The Cereal?
Cereal, yeah. So I don't think I ever saw him go over a tabletop or whatever. I think I just seen him, he would go out of stuff and just catch it. He'd do a kickflip too.
Really?
Kickflip to that.
What?
Yeah.
Crazy.
There's 35th North. I think they had the secret footage is was it Stop Frontin' or no Stop, no, I think Stop Frontin' might have been Lo-Fi, but he had secret footage in one of the 35th North videos, and he does it in that.
Oh, the kickflip one?
Yeah.
What did he call that one?
I don't know. I don't know what he called it. It's like
Serial flip.
and that's the thing. He probably did so many other tricks because I mean, doing quadruple flips. I mean, consistent.
Wow.
Like it's just boom. Like how people do double flips. He could do triple flips, and he was like, and there was only certain people that were on that shit.
Sure.
It was like,
Oh, yeah.
But he wasn't just like most of the people that did hyper flips like that. That's all they did.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
right.
Quadruple trays and quadruple varials or something.
Yeah.
But
Half the time they wouldn't even look that good.
He was doing like all these other
the time.
crazy tricks.
I'm sorry.
He's on some Todd Falcon shit.
Yeah.
Wait, so you were on Milk with him? Is that what the company you're talking about? Yeah.
Milk, yeah.
It went from Powell,
Me skateboards.
me, Milk.
Oh no, Hazmat.
Hazmat.
Oh, Hazmat with
Hazmat.
Eric Dressen.
No, Dressen wasn't on Hazmat when I was.
No?
No.
Huh. I feel like Hazmat wasn't around for that long.
And that was part of
It
Grand King,
wasn't.
right?
Well, and then they went into it was part of Grand King,
Yeah.
and then they started doing snowboards. They dissolved
That's
into
right.
a snowboard
Yeah,
company.
I remember that.
It was when snowboarding started to take off
Sure.
and
Yeah.
killed killed some of the skateboard.
So after that, what did you get on? Was that
then I got Powell, then Human, then A-Team.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
You were on Powell for a bit, like you did.
It was 2 years.
Yeah, Suburban Diners and Scenic Drive.
Scenic Drive. Yeah.
Right. Where was Human based out of?
San
Human
Diego.
was San Diego.
Oh, San Diego.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was they were doing they had licensed Hang Ten, and they also, what else did they do there? They had different little schemes going through there, but they had it was like a 9-foot mini
They had a vert ramp there.
it was a vert ramp.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Tony
really,
was trying to do 900s there.
Huh?
Tony was like trying 900s
On
there.
that thing.
Yeah.
That thing was tiny.
Yeah.
And I I'm saying it was like a vert mini ramp to me.
Yeah.
Like I skated that thing. I had footage. I think I did a kickflip indie on that. Or something. Yeah. Like, I didn't really think of it as a vert ramp like those other vert ramps they were skating, because it didn't go like this. When I'm going up to the top, I'm not like
Right. Well, what happened to Human? Like, why the switch to Powell?
No, he was on Powell then to Human.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Why did you leave Powell?
Why? Yeah.
Oh, George.
George?
Yep.
Just butted heads with him, or?
Yeah. Well, and then I'm how I am. I'm not gonna just suck it up and do what somebody wants me to when they're screwing me over. So we were on a trip, a tour with it was Mike Vallely, Stacy Laurie, Charlie Wilkins. I think Fortune was on there too. And everybody was injured. Charlie had a burster. There's a footage of him like squeezing. Squeezing the burst. And then Mike V shoulder. Stacy had a torn groin muscle, and Fortune always had like bad ankles or some shit. I don't know.
You were the last man standing.
Everybody was putting in work, but like it was just like after every demo, it was just like people limping off and shit, like Charlie squeezing out this. It was pudding. It was pudding.
It was basically pudding out of his.
Yeah, it was gross.
It was gross. It was terrible.
Black pudding.
So anyways, we go through most of this tour, and we're in Boston. I think we were in Boston. We stopped there, and then Mike's talking.
Was that the mini ramp one?
Yeah. No.
At Beacon Hill Skate Shop.
No, this was not the mini ramp one. I don't know.
Was this when Mike was doing his Grand Cherokee tour?
Yeah, we were going to just different skate parks. But what we get to Boston, and then Mike's talking to George, and he's like, I think we should call it because everybody's hurt. Mm-hmm. And then George tells Mike this, and he's like, well, as far as I'm concerned, he was like, if you call it, then it's on you. So it would be Mike's fault that
It's over.
We didn't show up.
Yeah.
So Mike decided, he was like, well, I'll just go. I'll go and do a storytelling or whatever. Mike's really good with the demo and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's phenomenal. He's like one of the best,
most professional skateboarders ever.
Yes. Because he actually gives a shit.
Yeah.
He's not just trying to sell product. He's actually like, he's about it.
Yeah.
So, but I think we've continued on, but during that time, like I was supposed to go, like after that tour, I was supposed to go to Europe, and we'd already gone to Europe and for Titus, and I went with Mike. They had this dude called Bambi show up. He was this big German dude, and we were like, oh, that's kind of crazy. He got us a bodyguard. No, he didn't get us a bodyguard. He got that dude to come and make sure that Mike didn't get out of line. This is before we were on this trip, and so Mike.
Did Titus hire him or George?
Titus.
Right.
So George is like trying to get me to go on this. Like I told, he's talking to George about this tour. I'm like, okay. Well, tell George I'm not going to Europe. That was bullshit. You don't go and, like treat people that are actually doing business for you like that.
Yeah. Basically forcing you to work in a way.
Yeah. So it just, so I was like, yeah, just tell him I'm not going. And so I lived in Boise at this time.
Okay.
And when we got off the trip, George knew where I lived. I was in Boise for a week or two or something like that. He never called my house, never called me. I'm coming back to California. I stop in Reno. I would always I would travel. I had certain stops that I have friends in Reno, like Dean Christopher and Ludwig and dudes, guys in Reno that I would try to go Spencer Benavides and guys like that I would skate with back in the days. Okay. So I stopped there, and I was with somebody I was more friends with. That I won't mention him because he kind of ripped me off and did some shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it's like you like I said, you can be you can say I could say I'm your friend, but
sure, right.
So I don't even know how George got his number. He called, and I don't even know how he knew I was there, but he calls his house. And then I talked to him, and I'm like, look, you already knew I wasn't gonna go because it was like the next day I was supposed to get on a plane.
Oh.
And so I'm like, you knew. You didn't contact me and try to talk about this now, and he's trying to talk me into it. And
the day before, yeah.
I was like, no, I told you I didn't want to go. I was like, no. And he was, oh, well, and he said this. He was like, as far as I'm concerned, you no longer ride for Powell. But I have to talk to Mike. This is how he said it.
Wow.
Scapegoat King.
Oh.
Yeah, and then he had this thing they call it, this is kind of off the subject, but it's like the Care Bear stare is, I forget who coined that, but if you ever talk to him, he's like, it's a manipulation tactic. It's like the way he'll look at you, and I would go in, and I was younger back then, so I'd be really frustrated about something like I wanted to talk to him about. Mm-hmm. And he would, by the time the conversation was over, how I go into my tangents.
Sure.
By the time but he would guide it, so we'd never finalize what I even got there to talk about, because he would say certain things that
would get you off topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
He knew how to manipulate me at the time.
Huh.
So,
how old were you?
probably like 20.
Okay. Yeah.
Bad with numbers.
So, were you off the team then?
No. See, that was the thing. That was the thing. He called Mike, and then Mike, when I talked to Mike, he was like, well, and what the situation, remember Rubbish, when Mike left, what he said, he dissed Powell. And to go back to Powell, he had to suck it up. Oh. And the reason why, he had family taking care of Ann and Emily, and so George could scapegoat him because he couldn't just go like, fuck you, George. That's bullshit. But he did tell him, he was like, well, I don't really, but this is how George, when Mike told me, he was like, George says, how did he put it? It was like, you have to give me a reason why we shouldn't kick you. The way he worded it was just like,
basically, give me a reason why I shouldn't kick you off right now.
No. When he was talking to Mike about me, he made it into a situation. It was kind of like the same kind of situation where he was talking to him. If you call it, then it's on you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's what he did when he said that I have to talk. As far as I'm concerned,
he was basically trying to get Mike to do his dirty work.
Yes. Yeah. He was trying to get it to where Mike was the reason. He was the one that I had to blame. Mm-hmm. As far as I'm concerned, this guy's the owner.
Sure.
Just think about the wording.
Yeah.
You just you're off my fucking company. What? Get the fuck out. And then he did this, and this was illegal, but at the time I really wasn't about suing people. Okay. But he told everybody in the office knew that I wasn't part of Powell before I really even did. Oh. Because there was never an official
firing.
There was no official, because that's what it was. It wasn't a sponsorship. It was business. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I didn't ride for Powell. I was working with Powell.
Sure.
Did you have a board then? Because I feel like there was a point in time where they weren't doing pro boards. And then they finally did Mike's
I was there.
Board,
right?
See,
I was there until right before they started doing the boards.
Yeah.
And they were going back and forth about it. Yeah. And the reason why he didn't is because he was making way more off of
team boards and everything else.
Team boards.
Yeah. No royalty payments or anything.
Yeah. Well, we were getting salaries, and actually, on the other side is like that was the best situation. They had insurance.
Oh.
Eye and dental.
Oh wow! That's unheard of.
One of the only brands that were doing that too.
Yes,
ever.
It was because Powell was Skate One Corp. Mm-hmm. It was actually run like a corporation. It wasn't Big Brother Pimp. because a lot of corporations are actually like not official.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's just like Big Brother Pimp. It's like, you know, the reason why you have like the they like Rodney Mullins or certain dudes. I mean, he's his own dude, and you know, he's owners, but they dangle specific names so that they can attract others.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what Krieger was with Blind forever, and then they finally
just trying to get people on the bus.
Finally got rid of him, and now what is Blind? And Blind, I mean, Blind had more of a something to it than when he was still a part of it, just like before Henry and LeVar left.
Sure.
But obviously before when Gon's the original.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting thing about the industry is that most people don't realize that a lot of things have been turned over so many times that it's not even the original thing. Element.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, Zero Sophisto.
Right.
You know, that's how Zero got it. You know, like
Jamie
Thomas.
Yeah.
Jamie Thomas was with Zero Sophisto.
Right.
Yeah, you know that was him and Andy Howell, like the clothing.
Yeah. What the hell happened to Powell then? Did you just say fuck it, I'm out?
You know, I did actually go and say something to George in the trade show. I called him out in front of people because of what, like, you know, like people. I go to the trade show and everybody's like, "Ooh, you know what happened?" You know, and I'm just like, "What the fuck?" It's like, this was none of anybody else's business but ours.
Of course, yeah.
So that's what I was saying. It's illegal. I could have sued him for that, but. You know, I went in and just like in the booth, and he was very uncomfortable, and I was just called him out. You know, I just said what I had to say to him. I was just like, what you did is bullshit, and you pretty much scapegoated Mike just to like, you know, I see what you're doing, and I see what you did, this and that. You know, just to let it be known, because that's what's different about me than other people. It's like, fuck holding my tongue. It's like I wouldn't go and do business with him, you know, because it's like how he handled it. It's like,
and you wanted to let him know that you knew what was going on.
Yeah, I'm not just like a child, even though I may act like one at times. It's like I know better. I know what you're doing. It's like you know, that's bullshit.
And no ill will towards Mike, because you already knew that it was a whole, it was a George thing. Yeah.
No, you know, and see, the whole thing is that it's not even like that was business. So I don't think about George other than like when it comes up, like, you know. But Powell was it was a good situation all around. Like the people who worked there, I loved it. It was great. It was fucking beautiful. It was only him.
So even though you were pissed and everything, were you still bummed that you left Powell? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, because you said it was a good situation, you know, it was great.
And all that. It was great, but it's like when
bittersweet,
but when things aren't working, they don't work. Like I don't like being in places where I'm not happy.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
No one should be in that situation.
Because the notes weren't that. I mean, I had to make a living, I guess, but like I really never. I'm not a spender. Like I'm not that much of a consumer, and less now than I ever was, because it's like
minimalist
for the most part. I've even gotten to the point where I have all like stuff. I have like toys that I collected, or I have certain things. I'm just like. I hold on to it now because I'm like, well, I should sell it instead of just give it away. I used to give shit away back in the day.
Did you sell any of your? I mean, did you keep any of your old boards?
I have some of them. I get rid of the ones that I'm really not super hyped on.
Oh, okay.
You know, but there's certain ones that I keep. Like there's a human board. There's a human board that I specifically. I don't know. It was just I really liked it. Mm-hmm. But I drew one, but I sold it. I drew one. I did the graphic on a human. I sold it, but I think I feel like this with when it comes down to my art, I'd rather somebody else have it than have it myself.
Right.
Because it was in my head. I brought it to fruition so that it could actually have life.
There you go. There you go. And have somebody have it that appreciates it.
Yes. Because it's sitting like the other ones are sitting in a bag or in a box.
Right. Well, what good is that?
Yeah.
Right.
Who did you turn pro for then?
Santa Cruz.
Oh, this is like.
This is way after. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a bit after.
Wow.
Yeah, I turned pro in '92.
So after this, you went to A-Team, right? But where did this blind thing fall into place? Like where?
Okay, so A-Team. A-Team was I realized that we weren't going to have a video. And Blind was working on a video, and I was just like, dude, I wanna do something with Bean here because I didn't see that, you know.
I knew stacking footage.
You wanted to work on something.
Yeah,
you wanted to put out a video,
and I knew that we weren't gonna make an A-Team video because of what I said earlier.
Sure,
because where would he be?
Right.
You know, because we, you know, if you got the end or the beginning, either way, people would still be like, oh, somebody would be like, yo, what's up with that? Like, you know, because I mean. Just imagine, if we actually focused on having that video, we would all put in work.
Oh man, it would have been a great video.
It would have been, you know, because I would have focused on actually making a part for it, you know. And that was something I think I was gonna say is I didn't say earlier is that I've never really ever try to build a specific, you know, go from scratch. I'm going to make this part. I'm going to go to the spot and do this and that. I realized that
list of things you want to do.
Yeah, I realized that I've written lists, but I never stuck them. You know, but I realized that more recently because when I think about I watch footage and stuff like that, I think about wow, you know. I see certain people have great highlight footage, you know, and I'm just like, damn, that's so sick. But you could tell it was orchestrated, the shoot, the clothing,
curated,
so curated. And you know, and I'm not jealous of that, you know. However, it looks sick when you're going to have a whole folder or whatever of that. It looks sick, but. But, you know, it made me think. I was just like, damn, you know, I never actually, spent the time to really try to do that.
You've had footage over here, donated it to this project, and then worked, you know,
If you look at Jamie Thomas's footage, it's like a portfolio.
Sure.
You know, it's pretty gnarly.
When that video came out, Ronnie versus Day One, though, I'll be honest, I love both of those dudes, but I watched more of the intermiddle, the middle guys.
Yeah, no, but that was what I was saying when I was talking about who got paid. It's the reason why those videos were so great was because of all the people.
It was so good, dude.
Because if you took everybody's, you know, people would be like, yeah, that's cool. You know, it would have been like, damn, Day One blew him out the water and shit. But, you know, it really is I mean, you can't, those are two different species.
Oh, totally. You can't compare.
You can't compare.
It's kind of
you know, and I only say that based on the whole that they put it versus.
Yeah.
You know, there was no comparison.
It's like they took Tim and Henry's and just took it a whole nother level.
Yeah.
But I thought A-Team was pretty big back then, and a lot of us respected it, even though you guys had a segment. Majority of skateboard.
But that was the first thing that we, you know, the kind of footage that we had as a team put out.
Right.
You know, but see, that's what they were doing is that they were taking all the teams, instead of making a video for each team, they pieced apart took everybody's good footage to build the Rodney Day One videos.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were taken away from other people's
just the highlight
projects.
of them.
Yes, they were taken away from everybody's projects. They were doing that strategic. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like how do you maximize? And that's why I was saying the three ring circus. How do you maximize off of all the underlings?
Yeah,
use it as a pyramid scheme.
Put all the pieces together.
Pyramid scheme is perfect. He's going to stand on top.
But how did the blind? I mean, did you say, "Hey, I want to go to blind"? Or
no. I was like, look.
You actually asked.
Yeah, no. I told him. I was like, look, you know,
was Enjoy an option?
Enjoy we hadn't broke apart yet.
Well, because MJ was still
I told it was some time before it was over. Mm-hmm. I told him I wanted to go to blind. Mm-hmm. The reason why I ended up on blind was because of Luis Cruz.
Oh.
Because Rodney was trying to do away with me. Rodney actually went behind my back on a couple things.
Oh, he didn't want you a part of anything.
Well, once me and James moved in together.
James Craig.
Yeah, James Craig.
Yeah.
What I gathered, because he almost immediately he said stuff to me and he said stuff to James, and they were kind of, you know, if you heard the conversation, because I talked to James and what he was saying is he's like, why are you sure you want to move in with him? And, you know, what it was is that Blind was the company that James wanted. It was that was his dream.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. So he was that child, you know, it's just like, oh my God, I got everything I want.
Right.
So he wasn't asking questions. So he got around me and then he started asking questions. Rodney didn't like that.
Oh.
Because, I mean, I rub off on people, you know, in certain ways. Like when I talk about certain things, it's like, I was talking about the business back then because that's what it was about.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
And you had already been through a lot of business
I've been
stuff.
dealing with these people,
Sure.
and I knew what they were doing, and it's like I knew how world would rip people off. You know,
But you still wanted to be in the building.
Huh?
But you still wanted to be in the building.
Well, at the time, it was like, well, the overall concept was just the business. It's like, well, thinking that like, okay, over here it's managed a little different.
Yeah.
You know. So that because they were actually having people, because once A-Team started, it was like chaperoned. Like the first tour, Rocco went on tour with us and everything.
Oh,
they were
wow.
launching the T-shirts and doing that stuff.
Okay.
It was a great send off. We had McKee
Mark McKee.
graphics, or John. I think John Thomas did like the original badge series or
sure.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we had like dope graphics and stuff, and then it like then came that conspiracy series. It was like because and then it was like then we didn't have, there was no leadership. You know, there was like nobody going like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Rodney never took the reins as a leader. Never. He was always like the if you ever look back, he's always been the actual team manager. That
Right.
He's the say.
I wonder if he was waiting for somebody else to step up, like MJ or
No.
anybody
They created A-Team to find generals, because when Girl and Chocolate happened,
Yeah.
it took the camp apart.
Of course.
And then Kareem and Daywan stayed, and
Yeah.
a couple other people stayed, but their camp was weak, so they had to bring new blood in. It's just like what Girl did with what's his face, McCrank, and you know, when they started bringing these different types of personalities in,
Okay.
because they weren't the usual. When they came in, they weren't the usual style Girl team.
Right.
When we were growing up, there's a stigma that I have in my mind about the way that they were, because I didn't know them. They were like the upperclassmen, if you will. Like,
Okay.
I go to places, and they were the cool guys. So you know, and I mean, you could see it. And then later on, they broke and started making it, you know, wearing pink and starting to be like, oh, we're friendly guys. But they used to be like intimidating in a sense of like, you know, I remember saying hello to a specific dude. I won't mention his name because I'm not mad at any of them or any of that. It's just like, you know, it's just like high school, because we didn't know anybody,
Yeah.
you know of people, and then really when you think about it, we were all in competition. Even the people on the team, it's like we enter a competition where you're not trying to win for A-Team or win for Blind.
Win for yourself.
Win for yourself.
Yeah. Sure.
So that's one of the biggest tricks that people like fall for. Team. You're only a team if all your people, you create a company and all your people are part of it. And even still, then you have to learn how to be a business, because if you're friends in your team, you guys take each other for granted at a point. Not take care of business.
I mean, sure.
Because you want it to be fun. When it gets to become business, it's not fun anymore.
Exactly.
Unless you're really
for
into business.
For sure. You asked to switch to Blind, and then they said, yeah, you can go to Blind.
No, they didn't. No. Rodney, I just said it to Rodney, and, you know, I talked to Luis, and Luis got it in motion. And, you know, like Rodney was just, I don't know. Rodney wasn't really about it. Rodney wouldn't. There was a point after I said something to him, Rodney stopped talking to me. We were at Tampa. I think it was the one I won. I used to think I won 97 because I really was that bad with dates.
It's like 2000 or 99
I won
or
99.
something. 99. Okay.
So I'm skating that. Like I think at that point I'd kind of given up on winning, you know, Tampa, because I had been getting like top 10 like for years prior. And I think even the year before, I got second place.
Oh.
But Reynolds won.
Oh.
He's a hometown hero, but it wasn't just that he, you know, it wasn't just that he deserved it. He skated really well, but he obviously went out there long before everybody else did it and like wired the shit.
Okay,
and
right.
But he also did the tricks that he did.
Sure.
You know. But anyways, so I'm skating during practice, and I wasn't. I stopped trying to wire a line. I was just like over it. I was just like, oh, what's the point? You know,
just
skate.
Yeah, I'll just skate because and during practice it's better to do that anyways, because you got animal. Like back then we were skating with like Cardials and dudes. They were just animals, dude.
Donnie Barley.
High speed. Chris Sin.
Oh, yeah.
High speed launching across stuff and like,
Right.
and it's not just, they wouldn't just land what they're doing. They're going for something else. So you're in the way. That's it. You're just in the way. Like, so, you know, Andy Roy too, like some of those animals,
yeah.
You know, so, you know, I would just skate and that's how I could, you know, get used to everything. So I wouldn't have, so when I go for whatever I go, I already have it mapped out as far as feel goes.
Got you.
But, you know, Rodney goes, hey, you know, like maybe you should do this, and this and that. And I'm just like, hey, Rodney, wait, why don't you enter? You know how to win this, right? Like,
oh,
I flipped.
He didn't
like
that.
He stopped talking to me.
That was it.
I mean, that probably wasn't the only reason because I mean, you know, I obviously like I could be, you know, like time consuming talking to me on the phone back then, especially because I wasn't talking to anybody, so I get to talk to somebody.
Phone rings, you're ready to go.
No, it wasn't just that. It was just like, oh, you know, I could talk to Rodney because Rodney can talk about. Anybody I can communicate with, I can end up talking to for hours.
Right.
So you know, like I can't just blame it on that instance. There's probably like a lot. I probably wore on him.
And then what did Luis Cruz was pioneering for you to get on Blind, or
he got me on Blind. Like
wow.
Luis is
he's a great dude.
He's awesome.
He's a man.
And you know, he's I don't know. He obviously knows the ins and outs of the business, and he's he's
been there long enough.
Very important. Sure. Very important. He was very important. Like he was teaching. He was doing other people's work as well as his own. And
there you go.
What he started. He was doing like started with graphics like separations and stuff like that, and he was just doing all this other like.
Wasn't he screen printing at first?
Yeah,
screen printing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But Blind never had a video either, though.
Well, it did later. It did right. They see what they did is like okay. So I went from A team. I had the same, and then I went to Blind. I had the same salary. I think maybe they tried to like 500 less or
cut
whatever.
It, yeah.
But what happened if you watch that video? What if?
Yeah.
See when they cut me off. They added a bunch of Markovich and they added some other people, and they had that video. And then after the video was over, all those the majority of that came was gone.
Yeah.
So they took my paycheck to get to buy those dudes to like
make a video.
Or that's my speculation because I don't know for fact.
Right.
But that's exactly what it looked like though. Because
what happened though? Did they let you go, or you left before the video before What If came out?
No. Rodney finally got his way.
Oh.
See, and you know, because he didn't want me to be a part of that, because I was a corruptor. I was the Tim Gavin.
You were the cancer.
Enough said. Right.
Because Rodney sat me down and said so. He's told me about the Tim told me about what had happened. You know, I didn't really know that much, and he told me about it. So that's what I was a corruptor.
Oh.
That's why there was an issue with me being with James because James happily did whatever.
Yeah, he was killing it back then.
And killing it. Yeah. Do you look back and wish some things were different or some things maybe went a different way?
You know, I think if because I would. I don't know.
Like about being the corruptor and being the, you know what I mean? Like, do you wish maybe any one of those companies would have worked out for the long term?
I don't know. Human. When I was working with Human, we had it was great dudes working with. But the problem with that is that they were ups and downs as far as pay. Like I always got paid, but there was always almost every month the warehouse people were waiting on their checks and shit like that. Or it was all so the way that they did business there, it was all based on investors. No. So when a lot of companies operate, that's one of the things about the industry is a lot of companies are operating off of the tax breaks. People will they give the money so that they can take a loss to skateboarding, because a lot of the companies with a lot of the people they create corporations so that they can support themselves. So that when they get in that investment, a lot of it's being funneled into their pocket, and then they kind of like spread it out.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
but was Human even that big though? For them to be
it wasn't just Human. It was Human, Hang Ten. It was like a distribute. It was a big
graphics
building.
part of it too.
Yes, there was a graphics part. They had a whole computer science area. It was It had showroom. It was.
So it was a part of a bigger thing.
It was a bigger thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was like multimedia. It was like there was more to it.
Oh, way different subject. I always wanted to know because you first started writing for like Emerica before it was like Emerica that it is now.
Yeah.
Like how did you come about writing for like Soul Tech back then?
Always with Soul Tech guy. I want to ask about Simple.
Well, I mean,
that too. You wrote for Simple.
Yeah.
Was that before? That was after that.
That was way before.
Simple was
that was after.
No, Simple was after because
Yeah.
Simple. Oh wait, was
because you were writing
like
Simple.
Simple was
America?
Powell. Simple was Powell.
Emerica, then Osiris, right? And then Globe.
Globe. No, it was. I think I left. Oh yeah, to Osiris. I got the shoe, and then I went to Globe. Yeah. Simple.
Because the yellow video came out way back.
Oh yeah.
And then
so then it would have probably Simple would have been in between. I think no. Simple was Powell and Milk.
Yeah, it was 90. Like Simple Emerica, and then.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. No. Because Jamie Thomas, like, just trying to think of. Yeah, I'm really terrible about the stuff like that. I don't really think about some certain things to that. But yeah, I think that's how it went. Vans, Airwalk, Vans, Airwalk, Simple.
You wrote for all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
You did a Javante.
Vans, Airwalk, Simple, and then Emerica, and then
I got on Vans when I was at Santa Cruz.
Okay.
Oh.
So and
Package deal.
no.
When did you start? Like, did you start getting like actually paid by a shoe sponsor? Was that
Simple?
Simple.
Actually, maybe you'd have to ask Don, but maybe I was.
Because Simple had like a little bit of a squad. It wasn't like you.
We started
for him.
Yeah.
We started to
German railroad firm.
We were trying. We were.
Sad.
I was almost like we were trying to get a actual street shoe. Though, so we were trying to, that was the first bit of me trying to get a pro, going towards a pro shoe.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, this was, and when I went to Etnies or Emerica, I think I was looking towards it. And, right before, we were talking about it. And, but somehow, I think I was more about it right now. So I think that's how, Osiris, because it was Evol.
Oh yeah.
So Evol, it was being dissolved, and then they had the shoe side, and then they wanted a new name. So that, and then it was me, Adam McNatt, Mayhew, Canton, not OJ, T-Bone,
T-Bone.
Tyrone,
Yeah.
and who else?
Damn, dude, you had you went through a lot of sponsors back then.
No, I work with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude.
I gotta say it's Simple though. Like the footbed in those shoes, they mold you to your foot, and they were have it's almost like a memory foam.
Yeah, no,
they were so good. Yeah,
pretty tight.
And then Globe. Globe was like the main.
Globe was after Osiris.
Right.
The Globe was right after that because I had that shoe. Then they did the Cypher. The Cypher was my shoe, but they didn't finish it, so I abandoned it. But they still sold it.
Oh.
If Osiris, the problem I had was the lines. It's like they hand cut them remember back in the days.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you looked at the line and stitching, it was terrible.
Oh.
So they made one sample. And then when they were trying to get me they were talking about that aftermath, the original tour. Mm-hmm. Trying to talk, Magnuson was trying to talk me into it. I was just like, eh. It's like, I was trying to get the shoe right, and they still hadn't paid me. The shoes had been, paid. They were still trying to get paid for my first shoe. They were holding on to the check. When people hold on to your check, they're getting paid the interest.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
So they were doing that, and then they were trying to switch up on the deal because Magnuson was with this Tony Chen, I think his name was, and Dr. Chen was the dad. So I guess they squandered like $3 million or something, like within a year or two or something.
Wow.
I think like something happened. Dr. Chin comes in, and then everything, they're trying to rearrange all the deals. We'd already signed contracts and all this stuff, and they're trying to rearrange the deals.
Who's this Dr. Chin guy?
He was the actual owner.
Oh.
He was the father of Tony. He was the main investor.
Okay.
He might have, I wouldn't be surprised if he was one of the manufacturers over, in China or Korea or wherever it was being made at the time. See, that's some of the parts that people don't know about, because with Globe, we didn't go over they sent us over to Korea after they moved the warehouse to China.
What do you mean?
When you work with a corporation, especially when you're working with a corporation, especially like when it's shoes, something major like that, you should see the manufacturer, right? You should go in there and one of the most incredible things is that it was like right before I stopped working with them, that was the first time they measured my foot.
Really?
Yeah. So, but it was just
that's when they started getting their shit together.
So but it was
Globe's still going though.
It was a while.
Yeah.
No, but see, and but it was just kind of weird. Like we go to Korea, and it was like they had just moved it. It was like they held us back, kept it so that we couldn't, And I met the actual manufacturer, and I learned a little bit about the deal and how the kind of deal started. That's what a lot of people don't know.
What, moving it to China? Why?
No, not moving it to China is who actually really owned it.
Oh.
Because the manufacturers usually have the bigger interest in the corporations. The people will come and do business. They'll
so the Hills approached them to do business.
Yeah. And GV, Gary Valentine, is running the business and whatnot. It's all speculation as far as like the withholding and all that stuff. But you would think that if you're doing business and you're trying to do the best business and you're having people design the shoes, or working on that stuff, it would be in your best interest to make sure that they get over to the manufacturer. But they never did that. And when they finally did it, it was like the manufacturer has moved. And we met the owner, and he was a super cool dude. He was just like, yeah, what's up? And he
factory's in a different country now.
Yeah. Did you at least get a skate over there?
Oh, no, for sure.
Okay.
That's what they sent us over to skate, but we were expecting, to go to the warehouse.
Check it out.
And then when we get there is when we find out that it's not there anymore. Just like, what the fuck?
Right.
Why wouldn't they tell you this?
A lot of things going on, Gershon. A lot of things, huh?
A lot of back end stuff.
Listen, going back to getting off blind, leaving blind, and then INC? INC.
That was through Syndrome, right?
Yeah, Syndrome. Canton Russell, Paul
Love Canton Russell.
Big
fan. Big fan.
Lambert, the Lamberts, Ronson Lambert and Chris Lambert.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No relation.
And they're not related either. No. It's just like the Fowlers. When they Jerry, I used to think I was the Ethan and Jerry brothers.
Brothers, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Who else was that? Yeah. So INC was through Syndrome.
Yeah.
And so I'm there, 2 months? We find out that we're not really getting a choice to do our own graphics. They have us on a series, basically conveyor belt.
Oh.
Then they create Hellrose. Or bring Hollywood over, and turns into Hellrose and stuff. But I think that was minus Markovich, of course.
Okay.
And they give them full range. They give them graphic control. And what did they do? They do everything, the same stuff that's all the industry. They were like making the board with a Jack Daniels bottle, a board with a guitar. It's like it's all pretty streamlined, basically.
Okay.
No creative.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, I'm just going like, so So what the fuck is that? Like you guys force us to have what you guys give us, but then you guys let these guys come in and then
do whatever they want.
And what they do is just like a typical stuff, and then and it dissolved before INC dissolved, which INC was the legacy of Status.
Status. Oh,
okay.
Right. Okay.
Finally turned all those guys pro.
Yeah, and actually, the original boards, the first couple boards, had STS on it, Status skates.
Interesting.
Yeah, on the top, I think.
Huh.
It was only like the first series or something like that.
So you weren't really feeling not having control or creative control.
I wasn't feeling that, but
I
I was hyped on the team.
The team was great, right?
It was awesome. You know, it was like great people. Like Zitzer is one of my favorite vert skaters. Like he rides vert like a street skater, and then he skates street like phenomenal.
Hell yeah. He's still ripping too, dude.
Dope style. I always tripped out on how he's just like, when he's skating vert, his arms are, he's just like this. Yeah. He's not even like he's not flapping his arms. He just like lands and he just pumps and it's just like boom, and flip trick, like grab, like.
Right.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, I mean, Hellrose, they created Hellrose, so Hellrose took away from our budget. So Hellrose dies first, but it also killed us.
Okay.
But then I think they had already had, not too long after, they did Plan B.
That's right.
Reinstated. So
that's right.
I think that they had been trying to get that contract going, and they were only doing what they were doing what we were doing to buy time.
Oh, just to have something going.
Yeah, they had,
they
had a huge warehouse full of a lot of Chinese product.
Oh, okay.
Like a lot
And during INC, was DNA was still going on, right?
You know, DNA.
Or did they kill that already?
It was pretty much the end of DNA right before. It was like that was because. Yeah, no, it was right before I got there. It was gone.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, what's going on now with Gershon? Because listen, you this ETN mini ramp session, just you come out of like almost out of nowhere and kill it.
Well, I didn't even know what it was, and I was out with friends. I was invited out to go skating with a friend that I met in Colorado, and we ended up with a group of. I think they're all mostly East Coast heads.
Okay,
they're ripping.
Yeah.
We go to this park first. Skate the park during the day. I don't remember what park it is. It's out like by LA, a little east.
Okay.
Then they were like, "Oh yeah, there's this mini ramp thing." They didn't say it was a contest.
You just went up there.
I just went up there, and I didn't even take my board up the hill because it's like I had already been skating, and then I was just like, I'm not even sure if I want to skate at the mini ramp, and so. And you saw it. It was up.
It's up on the hill. Yeah.
I was like,
it for 4th of July?
Yeah, it was a Go Skateboard Day.
It was Go Skate Day.
Yeah.
And so and I just thought it was like some deal because it's Go Skateboard Day. I didn't know the contest. So I didn't have a board, and wait, what's the fucking name?
Eric Bragg.
Huh?
Eric Bragg.
No. I know his name, but I can't think of it right now. He gave me. I was riding his board. So I go up there and I'm just thinking like, shit, maybe I do want to ride.
You got the bug.
Yeah, I'm watching everybody skate. I'm going, okay, shit. So I don't know how. I didn't know who. I didn't recognize him when but I borrowed his board.
Okay.
And I was just like, I'll just hit this and whatever. I think it was like. It was a wide board. It was like shaped like a football. It was like that's cool. Okay. So, but. I don't know. I kind of have this thing like when I'm not really serious. I'd prefer to ride somebody else's board.
Why?
Because
less stress.
I don't have to get mad. If I don't usually get mad, but I don't have to get serious either. Huh. So if I don't make anything, it doesn't matter.
Even if you were skating and you said, even if you brought your board and Raj was there, you said, Raj, let me see your board.
Yeah. Like I mean, it just depends on my mood. Like I was just cruising.
You can't get mad at someone like riding someone else's board.
Yeah. I know, but it's like almost torturous though, because you're not used to it.
But it's awesome when you learn to adapt to stuff that especially.
I don't have the patience, Christian.
Well, yeah, see, but that's the thing is that like long ago I stepped away from certain mindsets You know, so doing things like that is actually like helps me grow.
Oh, okay.
You know, because you know, like I mean, if you're already thinking to be frustrated when you're like, oh, I'm writing this is wrong. Well,
right.
Well, this is what it is. You know, so if you like
you accept it, yeah.
That's what skateboarding really is about. That's what life is about.
Sure.
Adaptation.
There you go.
You know, so you know, like I had to build philosophy, you know, like using skateboarding in order to I wouldn't use the word survive in life or anything like that, but I would say to grow, you know, like there's just certain things that, you know, philosophy, like I built many philosophies based on like, you know, maybe it started before skateboarding, but in order to, you know, go through life, like if you apply a third of what it took to learn any of the tricks that you did to anything else, you could be successful.
True.
You know, so what I like to do now a lot is to learn new skills. You know, so the cultivation or different things like that. Like I didn't work normal jobs before I almost pretty much went out of school right into being a pro skateboarder.
Okay.
Pretty much, actually, that's what happened.
Right.
I turned pro when I was senior.
Yeah.
Was working for like the skate park thing like the only job ever?
Well, I mean, when I was in Kansas City, I delivered. Well, I worked at a pizza place, and then I delivered. But I worked in the kitchen too, and I did actually 2 jobs like that. But it's all by choice because I was like, you know, what makes skateboarding funner is like when you get to a certain level. Is like actually like making it to where you actually doing it only when you really want to, instead of like forcing it, like because people by using it like calling themselves a skateboarder, they feel like they have to do it all the time.
Right.
So I've never really been away from skateboarding longer than a month, and that was because of this.
What is that? Your elbow?
Because I shattered my elbow.
Oh, damn.
But and even still, like almost like at the after like it was. I was able to kind of skate. I went out and skated, and I fell on it almost immediately.
You look great.
But that was the thing is like I wasn't accustomed to being off it that long. And then I was taking the oxycodone or whatever, and I hate drugs. I hate drugs like that for healing.
Sure.
And I mean, I
you don't want to fuck with either,
dude.
Yeah, you can get
like okay, so I took it. 20 minutes later, it's like 5 in the evening when my girlfriend got back.
Whole day gone.
The whole day gone, and I was just like. And then you know Woodrow doesn't want to stand up when you're like on
He's a Woodrow.
you
gotta pop another pill.
Yeah, no.
Then you got a whole medicine cabinet full of pills.
I can't live like that.
But I mean, like, do you want to like? I know you have your company, right? You guys make.
Well, I don't even consider it
a
a company. You know, it's
what is it? Then?
Well, the oBtuseconcept I created for art purposes.
Oh.
Because I like right before I left the industry, I used to draw. I never used to do color before I really got into skateboarding. I used to do pencil drawings all the time. Then I started to paint when I was in Newport Beach because I spent a lot of time in my room, and I was just, most of the people that I knew were pros or skateboarders, and the people that were. When I get home, they had jobs or they had to go to school or whatever, and then everybody's so I've spent a lot of time alone. And a lot of the people that were we weren't friends, we were acquaintances.
Sure.
So until you spend time with somebody and actually go through like real experiences with people, not just going on trips where it's paid for. But you become friends through that. But I'm saying like have the experiences and stuff. But a lot of times we is because of the corporations we knew each other. But I see people I know people. We were supposedly friends. I call them. They don't call me back. I don't hear from them ever, or 6 months
until they want something.
Year later. But I've been in a situation where I don't think. I mean, other than advice, like when it comes down to material things, I don't feel like I have some of the people that of those people I'm mentioning. I don't have anything that they would need like that.
Got you.
You know, but so it wasn't so much that. It's just, well, and I guess using that as the idea is like, well, what am I worth then? Mm-hmm. You know, if you're not going to call me back, then I'm obviously not worth anything to you. So what is friendship?
I guess my question is, do you want to come back to the industry, or are you happy right now with what you're doing?
For one, it's like consistent shoes would be great, because I mean I have the boards that I like to ride and stuff like that.
You got that covered, and
that's what I after having designing clothes, shoes, like having all that stuff. I miss that to an extent. Yeah, because a lot of those situations. Say with the shoes, I do the lines, and then they'd manipulate it into their
what they think it's gonna sell,
and that or their brand, how their look is,
right?
Because Globe shoes were like poofies, it took a while for them like thin out, you know? So yeah, like you're at the mercy of it. So it was more my issue was who I was working with.
Okay,
and at the time. I would say mentally I wasn't healthy enough to really like go and work with proper people, because it's, I was still bitter to some extent. And the bitterness wasn't even really about the industry. I mean, why, people don't ever really consider why they're angry or where that all comes from. Mm-hmm. It stems from far beyond.
Sure.
When somebody claims they're mad at you, they're not mad at you per se.
They might be just taking it out on you.
We hurt the ones close.
There you go.
So, but then I don't know. I'm down to work with people, but I don't want to have bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have a problem with like being told no. I just don't like to be told maybe or oh yeah we can do that, and then when you get to this point, then they're like, oh well spoke out of turn.
Yeah. Well, why not? Because I mean, dude, you're killing it. Skating great and all that stuff. Why not just like team up with somebody and just work? You don't even have to work with them.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's like, the thing is the relationship is finding the relationship and who specifically. I haven't, since I've been back, I haven't really been communicating with a lot of people directly. So, I kind of, most of why I'm back in the area is family. Mm-hmm. Of course, skateboarding. I always skateboard wherever I am. Yeah, and business it's better here. Because it's the hub. You can clothing in LA and like the ports and all that stuff. So like I do have a mind for business, but I'm not just gonna jump in and
I get you.
Do whatever.
I get you.
I'm not gonna, so I don't know. As far as the whole skateboarding thing, I'm just keeping myself in shape. I mean, working my way back into like a consistency, like the way that I want to skate, because like over the years, it's like there's certain things I get to a point where I'm not fucking with handrails. Yeah, I'm not fucking. But I'd see certain handrails, I'll be like, I should be fucking with these. Right. I should be throwing something down that one. There you go. But I'm being a puss because I haven't stepped up in a minute. So like I'm. That's another thing with this tripod thing is if you can get yourself to step up by yourself, then it's easier when you're actually out there with a filmer.
Sure.
Because I already know I grind this rail, so I might as well try something better because it's going to look better. It's not just going to be stationary. Somebody's going to be like...
Well, I think I like the tripod because you're not wasting anyone else's time except for yours.
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah.
That's like the number one thing.
Day One does it all the time, too.
Yeah. Well, but another thing is this, is like, okay, frame ups and timing. It's like you have, like, considering, like, I have to consider, like, how so I get this much frame.
Right.
If I want to do 2 tricks in between, and I want to be close enough to where...
It's a whole thing.
He needs a solo shot.
So you gotta move quicker. Yeah. So some of the lines and some of the things I have to do over and over until I can get them close enough.
Sure.
It was like it's likened to like a spoken word. Like say I do put spoken word on Instagram. You only have like a minute. So if I write something that's pretty long, I have to like get to a point where I can say it fast enough to where I can get it into the.
There you go.
Speaking of spoken word stuff, like you did the like the NC video, was it Reasons Why?
Reasons Why.
I noticed at the end of every one of your like spoken words, you had a number. What were those numbers?
Those are the dates. That's when I wrote. That's when I
okay.
wrote it. Yeah.
I was always wondering that.
Full Gershon part coming soon.
Please.
Yeah, if I can
What if
work,
Ty
if I can work with a good film.
What if Ty calls you tomorrow?
Called me, fuck yeah.
Dude, that would be amazing, dude.
Without a doubt, I would.
Call Ty.
The
or
Reason
Ty call
reunion.
him.
The reason,
There
like,
you go.
filming The Reason, like being with him and Tiva, they were great. It was
They're great people,
Yeah, great
you know, great, and they know what the fuck they're doing.
I don't have to worry about Ty not getting the clip.
No.
You know, and you know, all I have to know is it's gonna look better than I thought it was.
There you go. There
Did you
go.
choose that song?
Yeah.
I mean, I never heard of that.
Rubber Room.
Yeah, I was like, damn, that shit was tight as fuck.
And back then I had turntables and I had a bunch of vinyl. So I spent a lot of time in my room. I was doing a lot of different art. I was manifesting a lot of different creative aspects of myself. So people, you know, like I was an introvert when I was younger, and skateboarding kind of, you know, it's outdoors and you're interactive to an extent.
Yes.
You know, but, you know, one of the things I think a lot of people don't get is that, like, say I living in Boise or living in certain places, I would frequent certain spots, Rhodes Skate Park or Penn Valley or something like that. And you spend enough time there and you skate around certain people, and you know who like gets in the way or who's like this and that. And at times I will yell at people, or I'll say, you know, get the fuck out of the way, or you know, or like swerve at them or something.
Sure.
Like, because it's not just like the first or fifth time.
It's like the
It's like
50th time.
Yeah, it's like every time I go, you get in the way and you're not even trying anything, and you act like you didn't see me. And every time I tell you something, every time.
Yeah.
And this is consistent. It's like skate parks are a magnet for it, because a lot of the people there are spectators, but they don't know it. Mm-hmm. You know, they go.
Well, you're on a different level than they are.
Yeah,
and
I'm going to the skate park to ride the skate park and not to be social.
Yeah.
You know,
Guys just on the same path.
Yeah. but it's also, you know, it's also a lot of times it's age.
True.
It's like, you know, people like. I'm old. I'm old in the numbers to the concept. So I've lived the years, but then in my mind, like, there's been a lot more added to it. Sure. I was raised by my great grandmother. So, you know, like, my mentality has always been a little different. I've had issues with my brothers. I can't communicate with a lot, you know, like, so how people look at me, like, in the, you know, because of skateboarding, once they get to hear me talk or know it, that's nothing. When I've heard this from my family all my life. You know, when I start talking and there's a room full of them, the majority of them will have a blank stare, just like,
we're just waiting for you to stop, maybe.
Yeah, or they don't even know what to say. Right. Because I mean, you know, it's like,
because they didn't even think about it.
Yes. Yeah, mainly that. But then on top of that, it's like, what the fuck do you know, they want to talk about basketball or some shit.
Sure.
You know? Like, I don't
Current
give a shit about basketball.
Yeah.
Current events, you can't talk about that either, because they don't read what's actually going on. So and at that time I wasn't on politics, you know, because, you know, and I'm not really on it anymore, because politics it's the game. It's just to get people to argue against each other, and the people that are getting you to argue are in cahoots. Yeah. You know, Democrats, Republicans. How does an eagle fly? Left wing, right wing. How does an eagle fly? You can't cut one off and it's
right.
Flying in circles. If you
well, I will tell you this, that I want to see a Gershon part filmed by Ty Evans, shot by Atiba.
Dude, fuck yes.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, even if Ty Evans is not, it would just be rad to see a full length Gershon part right now.
I'm totally down.
You should.
Well, I have footage I could put out, but what for? You know, it's like
Well,
that's another thing. It's like it's outlet. It's not. I'm not just gonna throw it up on Facebook or YouTube because it's nonsense. Because a lot of the it's YouTube, Instagram. People, it seems like they only look at what's current.
Yeah.
And some people go back, but most people don't actually look at stuff very long. And you know, it's disposable. Because you know, you got Metrogram, you got all these wild stuff.
Of course.
People are posting stuff just to get that hit of dopamine. Just like
Yeah.
people like my shit.
Like
but that doesn't
views.
mean anything to me really.
Yeah.
Like I post the other stuff up. It's really what it is. You know, you have to have a work ethic. I have a work ethic, and I'm just not focused on right now. It's just more presentation.
Yeah.
You know, I'm using the platforms. You know, getting communicating.
But that's what the YouTube is, though. It's a platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
Instagram,
but you seem you're
Facebook.
like you're more of a project based guy. Like you want a project to like work for. Is that right? Or
Who owns those projects?
Work on. Yeah.
Well,
I want to own the projects. No,
You know what I
If I own the
mean.
projects, I'd knock them down and actually do something else that actually is beneficial for the majority.
it'd just be rad if you came out with a part. I'm not pressuring you. I'm just telling you what I would like.
Oh, no,
you know,
no,
I think it'd be
it's-
rad.
Everyone would love to see that.
No,
Of course.
it's all about like finding somebody that's actually willing. I've had two people say, "Oh, I'm totally down to film you,"
Sure.
but whenever I call them, they're like, "Oh, well." Like
right.
when I'm down to film, they either have to work or they're
It's a whole thing.
off doing something
It's a whole
else.
thing.
Yeah, it's a whole
Yeah.
thing. It's like, well, you know, if we're working, that's why it has to be a project.
Yeah.
If I'm working with somebody that's about it, then we'll go and do it.
Sure.
Instead of like when it happens.
Right. Because that could take years.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why parts take years, and that's
true.
You know, and
You just gotta jump on sessions and just see what happens. And
Yeah,
start
yeah.
stacking.
True.
yeah,
True.
but you know, that's you know, again, it comes down to like making the connections, communicating with the right people, because I know some people, but I don't know. I haven't, like, when I left, I didn't really communicate. Like some of the people I try to communicate with, they didn't communicate back. So I don't even consider talking to
Right,
them anymore. Or if I talk to them, I just know that like it'll be like, hey, what's up, buddy? And you know.
But also,
and-
too, there's a whole generation of new filmers that are hungry that would
yeah.
just love
Yeah,
to
that's-
film
that's true.
Gershon Mosley.
Yeah, but I have to meet.
That's true.
And then I have to find the one.
Well, put out an
that I can
Instagram
work
post.
with.
Just be like, hey, I'm looking for a filmer.
Yeah, but you know,
People do that all, you know,
meet me at this spot.
Sure.
But that's where the whole like working with businesses come in too. I also, if I'm gonna work with a filmer, I want to make sure that they get paid for it.
Oh, there you go. See, you're a nice guy. You know
Well,
what I
I
mean?
mean,
You don't
it-
like to take advantage of people.
I mean,
you know?
how, you know, like what is, you know, the back in the days,
You need to be compensated for your work.
that's what happened to a lot
Everyone
of people,
should.
and that's why a lot of people are bitter, is because they were getting taken advantage of.
Right.
A lot of people filmed video parts that people got paid off of,
Yeah.
and they didn't get paid for the clips even.
Yeah.
Right.
You
I'm
know?
one of them.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
And there was a lot of people that this was a lot of people, and it started with a lot of people just being happy to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, you use my clip? Oh, great.
No,
you know?
totally.
I
Yeah,
got free
totally.
board. Yeah.
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 Why don't we do a Gershon Mosley nightclub party?
Well, I was
and then
gonna say-
Roger could film the whole thing.
Well, I was going to say, whenever you get the budget,
Put a
call
timer on it.
whenever you
We
get
got 1 month.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap this up. You know, we've had a great conversation. Dude, I just want to say, and I know you probably won't like this, but huge fan, big fan.
Hell yeah.
Gershon
Are you gonna call him a
Mosley. Legend.
Wait, should I get
Legend.
Can I
Of
get him some
course. I'm
guests?
I'm trying to wrap. I'm just doing my spiel, Kelly. Jesus Christ.
No white
Settle
shirt.
down.
No white shirts, Kelly.
Yeah, we want him to skate in it and Instagram it. But dude, thank you so much for coming by, dude. This has been great.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
Dude, a lot of fun. Hey, keep doing what you're doing, man. Go skate, dude. Have fun. That's what I like about you, man. You're just a skateboarder. You know what I mean?
When I ride in a skateboard.
Okay.
Because
Okay. I'll tell you.
yesterday I spent all day trying to like get this this poem down.
Oh.
So at that point, I was just trying to recite. I was
right. So you were a poemer at that time.
A poemer.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called.
Or whatever they call it. I don't know. Yeah, but
I like that though. I like that you're in the moment of what you're doing. That's what you are.
And that's the thing, is that we're always only in the moment. We're only present.
Yeah.
You know, and people are thinking about the past, or like worrying about the future.
Yeah.
Future will never be here. It's always
It is, you know what it is? It's true though. You know what I mean? Like right now, I'm going to go home. I'm going to hang out with my cat, Larry. Tomorrow, I don't know. Well, I do have to go to the,
in the show.
I got to go to the barracks tomorrow.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You lose schedule. You have to, there's certain things you have to make sure get done. There's the priorities.
Yeah.
But then it's like, you have to make sure that there's wants and needs.
Sure.
Needs before wants. You know, I always take care of your needs before your wants, but you have to take care of your wants as well, because it's like the yin and yang. You have to balance it out.
Where does Gershon want to be a year from now?
He's not looking. He lives in the present.
I know he's in the present, but like, where do you want to see yourself? You obviously.
Well, see, the thing is that I'm just in motion.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain things. It's more.
What direction are you trying to go, though?
I'm going in the directions.
He's going on the 10 East back home.
Well, I mean, I just expand on what I've been doing. Like,
you do spoken word, you do art, you do.
I film people too. Mm-hmm. You know, I do. I've made some music videos and different things.
Right.
I try to get into creative. Anything creative. I like to work on projects. I like to see fruition. I like to see things actually happen.
That's the key that I think. That's what I'm all about.
And that's why I do a lot of things by myself, is because when
you need your own production company.
You need to, you depend on other people.
I am my own. I produce my own stuff, so I am. It's just I'm not incorporated, and I don't plan on it because I'm not trying to get taxed.
You're not part of the corporation?
Yeah, I'm not trying to get taxed that way, but I mean, I've learned how to navigate. So I have an entity. You know, I mean, not only is there the birth certificate and tax ID number, Gershon Mosley, but
your government name.
But see, one thing that people don't realize is EINs and social security numbers. They're just tax ID numbers, and they're plug and play. So those lines in between doesn't matter, because when it's just 9 digits. So. And the difference is employer identification number versus the social security number. With social security is more like the underling, and the EIN, the employer. You know, so there's a lot of different things about the system and how it works that people don't recognize, and I've learned to navigate, and you can create like entities, and it doesn't cost you anything. You can get an EIN number for free, and then you can work under that.
Is that on the dark web?
No.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Legally.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, see, because the IRS has all these different tax ID numbers that exist.
Yeah.
They're just accounts.
Right.
And see, and everything's really what it is that like those accounts it's like if you just think about this, if you your bank account, you say your bank account, who actually owns the bank? Who actually owns the bank, and whose account really is it?
Federal government.
I don't know, but
so that's why I'm saying. So we're like ghosts. So if you create entities within the system, and this is how, like Trump, when he said that he didn't pay taxes. Yeah. This is how what he did is that he like creates entities, and so the entity is liable, not him.
Sure.
So it's a shield,
right?
So when I was with A Team, when I did the shoe deal and stuff like that, I had an S corp created.
Yeah.
And so that was was to like shield, so that if I got sued, that I wouldn't necessarily lose everything.
They would come after your corporation and not yourself.
Of course. I'd shield it. Yeah.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people do, and that's what they don't train. They don't teach us that.
No.
They don't even teach you how federal notes are, how they are given power.
Dude, it's
you know,
true.
at school, you don't teach you anything about finances.
No,
really.
it's hard
now.
The
They don't
economy.
taxes at all. I know.
They don't tell you
They
nothing.
just want you to pay them.
Well, let me tell you something. We're an LLC, so if you chip your tooth on this, you can't come after me. You can come after the 9 Club. And that's a switch flip Manny, by the way, on the courthouse stage.
It was the one that was playing right there.
Yeah, that's right.
That was seen it.
That was back in 2003, Raj.
Why don't you have the fakey tray flip?
2004?
We don't talk about that here.
Yeah, we don't talk about that, Gershon. It's time to go. Here's a 9 Club sweater for you. I know summer's ending. It's going to become winter pretty soon.
It's getting cold by the beach.
Wrap yourself up in that. And a large 9 Club t-shirt.
Cheers.
For you, bro.
Thank you.
Dude, Gershon Mosley, dude. Hey,
Thanks for coming, dude.
pleasure.
It's been eye-opening.
Dude, thank you so much for stopping by, my friend.
Yes. My friend.